And if I break it, I'll buy you a new one. I gave it to him very reluctantly, like utterly 100% guilt-tripped, and knowing I didn't want to do this. Here, okay, I know what's going to happen because I know this guy can't even control his strength. That's an issue he knows about.
All right.
Puts the pen to the paper. Click. Broken.
All right, let's get going. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 750, the negative influence of rage bait. And I don't know what the 800th episode special is. Is this his 800th video? I don't know. I haven't heard of this guy.
I was looking at his channel while you guys were talking. I clicked on, sorting his videos oldest to newest. He's been on here for 13 years. On YouTube for 13 years. So, yeah, I'd say 800 episodes is well warranted.
Okay.
I could have had 6 on me. Or 7.
Interesting. All right, good for him. This is Mr. Coat. He's got 7.7 thousand subs. This video came out 5 days ago. It's got 2.5 thousand views. Seems to be popular. He's got 270 upvotes, only 8 downvotes. So, obviously, he knows what he's doing. And this is a 10-minute-and-a-half video about, I don't know what. I'm not too sure what to expect. I think it was
Yeah, I don't know either because I looked at a majority of his newest videos and they're all movie reviews.
Yeah.
And they're all like 5 minutes.
Well, that's good.
I don't think there's a video on here that's longer than 10 minutes.
Interesting.
On his whole channel.
He has a format. He has a mold to follow.
Right.
It's good.
That is nice to know. I could watch one of his quick movie reviews that he might have heard of. Oh, he's got the Barbie thing going. Okay, good for him. So he's doing popular stuff. He's doing movies in general. He hasn't done Mean Girls, unfortunately. That's one of my favorite videos or movies of the year.
What, Mean Girls?
Mean Girls. Oh, yeah, it's a great musical.
Oh, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, it came
Why
out.
has nobody made a movie called Meme Girls?
That'd be boring.
Meme?
That would not be fun. They try to do meme movies that didn't work very well. Anyway.
It would be full of VTubers.
Oh, God. Anyway. I'm not sure what to expect, but we're going to go into it with an open mind. And I don't know what channel Frederator means. I don't know what the colors mean.
Frederator is... they made a lot of cartoons, or hosted a lot of cartoons, like Bravest Warriors and I think Catbug and all of that weird stuff. That's in the Adventure Time family, if you will.
Oh, no.
Ah, okay.
And what was it that the people wanted me to watch? Something Puppy Cat?
What?
I don't remember the full title. It's so long ago, and it scared me off. It was some sugar cute thing that might have been diabetes inducing.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
I still need a second for that.
Let's get going. 10 minutes and a half. Channel Frederator, Mr. Coat.
Usually when I do these milestone episodes, I try to make something fun and positive, but this time I want to talk about something that has genuinely concerned me for a while. When skimming through YouTube, especially if most of what you search for and watch are pop culture related, you'll often see videos with thumbnails reacting angrily to something in the entertainment world.
He's very expressive. He's very animated with his arms and like he's trying to grab something. Oh, I gotta... Anyway.
Photoshopped image of a well-known figure like Kathleen Kennedy or Brie Larson, to name a few examples, and big red letters.
Yep.
Go ahead.
What happened?
Someone paused it.
Wisp, did you hit something?
No, my browser is stuck.
All right.
Oh.
We'll keep going then.
Photoshopped image of a well-known figure like Kathleen Kennedy or Brie Larson, to name a few examples, and big red letters, calling them failures or how everyone hates them or something. I won't mention these channels, so not to publicize them, but you probably already know what I'm talking about. These are basically rage bait channels that thrive off people clicking on these thumbnails to hear what they have to say.
Okay, yes, there are such channels like that, but if it's warranted and they have an argument why you dislike a world event, news report, an interview, you can call that rage bait. But if it's warranted, I don't care. That's exactly what it should be. So good for them. They know what they don't like, and they're getting angry about it, and they're making a video about it. Yay?
About figures or the media they create, often very negatively. And what I find disappointing is the influence these channels have on people.
Okay, so this guy doesn't care that they're negative or positive, just that they're influential. I don't... This big channel makes angry videos. Like, oh no, what will we do?
Others just repeating what they say. There seems to be a whole industry of these channels that find something or someone they want to target and make them a whole thing. I mentioned Bri Larson earlier, and she's someone who's gotten so much undeserved hate from these channels.
Wait. Undeserved hatred? She's a diva. She got, one award? And then she became, a Marvel superstar? And then she started a YouTube channel that got instant monetization. And 100,000 subs within the first few days. Her first video was like 1 million views. Like, this is like Will Smith, same idea. YouTube just anointed them as opposed to anyone starting a YouTube channel and starting from scratch. So there's plenty of reason to dislike Brie as a YouTuber, and there's plenty of reason to dislike her as a person. If you ever listen to her videos, or in this particular interview where she's not bashing white men, but saying, I don't want white men to criticize my movies because they're white and they're men, which is defeating the purpose of criticism in the first place. You're literally saying, oh, because of your skin tone and your gender, your opinion does not matter as a critic.
Can't
it's
argue
as
with
bad
logic
as
like
saying
that.
a person must be never be criticized because he or she is a man or a woman or any skin color. It's the same problem.
Or
it's
the
same
implication that only a critic of the demographic that it's targeted to has to be that demographic. It's like, wait a second, you mean I can't watch a story for girls, like a romance, and criticize?
Which we also learned that rule. They made that rule, and then instantly broke it, because when a black guy criticizes a woke black guy, it's not allowed. It's a race traitor. When a woman criticizes a feminist, she is a sex traitor. When a tranny criticizes anything of the rainbow, it's a transphobe or something. So it's never that whole you must be part of the demographic. It was a ruse. They never kept it up. They also allowed that people who are not of the demographic but of the ideology are allowed to criticize anyone, as long as the dogma of the ideology is upheld. So that's really all what it is about. It's only about, are you part of the ideology or not? And now I would want to quote Mussolini again.
Oh.
But we'll leave that.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. here's a donation from gay actor Michael Douglas. Hey, gay actor Michael Douglas, how you doing? Today, I wanted to talk about something that's been bothering me for a while. It's my extended gut, bad facial hair, and the lack of an ability to dress like an adult. 13 years, and this videos look this dull. Might be time to log off, but maybe he put this together really quickly. I'm not concerned with the quality of the editing. I'm concerned with what he's trying to say. And if he immediately comes out and saying, no, I'm going to defend Brie Larson, you're like, whoa, dude, you got a hill to climb first.
Yeah, not a great start.
What? When's this from?
5 days ago.
What? 5 days ago, and you're still chill enough to defend Brie Larson?
Well,
she's not going to date you.
This is the first minute, so maybe he changes topics.
Oh, God.
So much. Part of it comes from
Hypocrite.
a speech she gave at an awards function talking about the need for diversity in film criticism. That was then spun into a whole thing when she somehow hates white men, even though that was not at all what she was talking about.
Yes, she did.
That was what she was talking about. That was exactly what she was saying.
She said it 2 or 3 times, saying, I don't hate white men. If you have to constantly repeat yourself about a form of negativity that you're trying to not espouse, you're espousing it. It's that simple.
Uh-huh.
I don't hate you. I'm just greatly criticizing you to the point of not saying I hate you directly. It's like when
You're spinning her words into the opposite of what she meant, what she said, and what she meant. She's not gonna date you. As simple as. Also, while she was on this, and Brie Larson is not a real feminist. She's a flag in the wind. She's an opportunist, like most feminists, by the way. She will do what she thinks will get her fame and money.
I'm trying to remember. Did she
Because right after this whole thing blew up, she completely changed her attitude and went top cut down to the navel.
Okay, I do recall
All the feminist objective women, society's objectifying women went out the window, and she went full tits out. Because hey, I need to save my career. Let's make how do people keep accepting me? Well, let's do what the 40-year-old white men want and get the tits out.
Yeah, this is kind
That's
of
the
odd
strategy.
because all of the conventions she attended as a result of being a Marvel star or being in Marvel films were mostly of white men. So it's kind of strange that people are like, well, why is she popular? Because she's in a Marvel film, not because people like her per se. Although I'm sure there's plenty of fans who are. It's because the critics go, okay, you realize you're making this for us, right? Even though your speech 4 or 5 years ago was criticizing white males for being white males. It's like saying I'm not a murderer, and all the murderers are in jail. All the people in jail always will say I'm innocent. I didn't do it. Da, da, da. It's like, well, yeah, but the law says this, and this is what happened during your trial. So even if you don't accept the fact, the rest of the world is saying otherwise.
Mainly talking about how it's good to hear perspectives from various people who might respond to a film differently based on their own cultural.
If that was what she wanted to say, she should have said that and not attacked an entire demographic through a race and sex and age attribute. The very thing that the left pretended for many, many decades is evil, and that's only what bigoted Nazis do.
And why do we need diversity in media criticism? Like, what does that involve? Like, what do we need children? Do we need elderly? Like, what's the point? Like, if the critic is good, if the criticism is good and accurate, how many more of those guys do we need? Is it?
Aside from the point that you can turn this into something very sinister when you say, I don't care what a 40-year-old man has to say about a movie targeted at 13-year-olds. Well, Cuties was targeted at 13-year-olds and under.
Oh boy.
I think parents who maybe in their 40s should have a lot to say about movies like that are targeted at children.
Well, I always say this year was Mean Girls was my favorite film. I think that's targeted towards girls in high school because it's about girls in high school and it's a musical. I enjoyed it. It was great. It was really fun. And anyone could pretty much go see that if you like music and dancing and a little bit of homosexuality because it's always implied. It's always a good joke to have a gay man running around who's a big black man and saying funny stuff. So it was great.
Sounds like exactly the movie I would walk out of the theater of if it wasn't a sneak peek.
It was a comedy, drama, dance musical, and it was a remake.
It has all the... You're not smart. You're doing the opposite of selling it to me.
Okay, fair enough.
You're giving me more reasons not to go to a sneak peek while this movie is running.
Well, I can appreciate choreography and creativity when I see...
That's okay. But I don't want to see a teen musical movie about gay people making stupid dick jokes.
No. It's not like that. It's not like that.
And girls bullying each other.
No. It's one big black dude, and he's really funny. And it's always implied, like he acts feminine because that's the attitude he's got, but it's not really. He's not dating men. Doesn't happen in the story.
So He's an F word.
He's an effeminate
big
big
F
black
word.
man.
A big black F word.
Yeah, but other than that, the film is fun. Like, it's a simple film. There's nothing complicated about it. Anyway.
Great we're in a media landscape where that is more possible than it was 20 more years ago.
Really?
And people got so angry at her for it, which also led to unverified and likely false rumors that the rest of the Marvel cast hates her, most of which are said and repeated by these YouTube channels I'm told.
Oh, but if you watch
We've
those...
seen the interviews.
If
We've
you-
seen the interviews.
yeah.
They hate her. It's the body language. It's the word they use. They make snide comments between the lines. They contradict her about her claims in what she did in the movies. No, yes, everybody hates her.
See the...
It's not allegations. It's just what have you seen the fucking interviews?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's comedy gold.
It's the Chris Hemsworth stuff. I can't remember the black guy who played... was he played... I didn't watch most of the Marvel films. I don't know the names.
I know what
Falcon?
you mean. I also
Captain
don't
Falcon?
remember the name.
Oh, Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, yeah. Yeah.
Iron Guy.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. They had an interview with her and Chris Hemsworth, and it's the most sort of like...
War Machine?
It's the funniest thing. Like, they're just sitting together, and she's trying to be funny, like, because you're in an interview. Chris Hemsworth is funny, and he's making all these jokes. She's like, no, it's not. and Anthony's just sitting there like, what? Should I jump?
I did all my stunts. No, you didn't.
Oh,
They didn't
God.
say, "Oh no, you didn't," but the paraphrasing of the response was, "No, you didn't."
All right. Here's
That's
Robert
great.
Down Syndrome Jr. Thank you, Robert. Imagine if Steven Spielberg said, I don't need to hear some 7-year-old Jew to tell me what didn't work for him about Schindler's List. It wasn't made for him. I want to hear from the Aryans. Also, is somebody playing Pong in the background? What's that beeping? Must be me.
Beeping.
I don't have beeping here.
No, it
I
must
don't
be
hear beeping.
every time I hit the push to talk button. It goes beep boop beep boop.
I don't even hear
I don't
it.
hear it.
I know it's on my end.
Oh, so you're feeding it into the stream?
Yeah, because I
but
turned.
not into the Discord.
Yeah, I turned off the streaming mode, so it does that beeping now. I could turn it back on.
Oh.
But, you know. Always
Yeah, maybe
curious.
turn it back on if it keeps the beeping.
Yeah, if it's annoying, I could turn it back on. It's not a big deal.
Well, we don't hear it. The
We
audience
can't
hears
hear
it.
it, but yeah, they can hear it.
All right, well, I could turn it back.
Evidently.
I could turn it off. It's not a big deal.
And people watch these videos and then use them as sources and repeat them, even if the likelihood of them being true is low. Kathleen Kennedy is another person these channels are against, mainly because she is the current head of Lucasfilm. And
Not
seems to
because
be
she's
blamed
the head
for
of
anything-
Lucasfilm.
Well, that's
Because
one
she's
reason.
a
but,
horrible head of Lucasfilm. She's a deliberately destructive, spiteful, narcissistic, insane, incompetent head of Lucasfilm who is ruining the company. She's tanked franchises, brands that were thought to be invincible, timeless, impossible to kill. She did the impossible. She killed Star Wars. Good job. Yeah, no, we have no reason to hate. We just hate her because she's a woman at the head of a thing. Fuck you. You fucking simp. None of these women will ever go out with you. And none of the feminists you're simping for, you're making this video for, will ever go out with you. They only use you to make propaganda. You will never,
I want to watch
ever.
this movie reviews now.
Yeah, you will never,
This is
ever get any
disappointing.
attention from them. That's what being a flying monkey is like.
All right.
blamed for anything people don't like about current Star Wars productions.
It's because she makes the decisions. She's responsible. She's the head of the thing. If she saw, oh, this is all destroying everything, maybe we should change things, that would be her job. That would be her responsibility. And she's not doing that. She's doubling down instead. So yes, we do blame her because she's responsible. She has the responsibility. That means she has the blame. Responsibility and blame actually go together. They're quite synonymous if the blame is correctly applied.
I think when
It's not a blame game.
when even South Park is now poking fun at you for your lack of management skills.
For making everything female and gay and boring.
Well, it's a big honor to get on South Park's radar and say, okay, who screwed up?
It's a negative honor, I'd say.
Well, obviously, but
Yeah.
enough tension to be like, yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why things are screwing up. Her. Anyway.
Is because of someone else behind the scenes. After the South Park Joining the Pandaverse special was released on Paramount Plus, I noticed a bunch of videos pop up about her reaction to it. The thumbnails and video titles basically said things like, Kennedy responds angrily to South Park special.
I've never actually seen that.
Me neither.
I've seen the South Park special, but I haven't seen Kennedy's response.
Oh.
I missed out on something, I suppose.
Retaliates against South Park. However, when I go search what she said...
By the way, you admit that she's doubling down.
If Disney's going to do something about it, I find nothing. No articles, no quotes from them, nothing. It seems they've largely ignored the special. South Park has been mocking Disney for years, most famously with a violent version of Mickey Mouse.
That was the old evil Disney. Now we get a new evil Disney. Modern evil Disney.
And what's wrong with mocking a giant company for many reasons? That's normal. That's totally normal.
Yeah, why are you defending leftists that have and big corporations at the same time?
Apple,
Isn't this kind of contradictory?
Yeah, this is what everyone does with Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, all these big companies, whether they're media or not. They are always seen as the big bad controllers of media or software or technology. Facebook is always in the crosshairs. X and Twitter is always in the this is normal. So
the thing is, the moment raging leftists, ideologues, have control over these giant corporations or companies, there's no critique anymore allowed towards these giant things, these giant megacorps. Because once the left has control of them, it's fine to have a megacorp. It can do whatever it likes. Because they're never actually fighting the big power structures. The left isn't fighting the big power structures. It's only claiming to do that when it doesn't have control over them. Once it has control over them, it's totally fine to have these power structures. Now eat your slob, you stupid slave. Go to the gulag. Work your ass off. Die in the salt mines. It'd be really funny
if this guy was highly critical of everything. He just hated people criticizing Disney. He hated the Disney films, even the Brie Larson. He just hates everything. He's just everything's garbage. It's okay. The critics criticizing the bad stuff. They're bad. It's okay, fine. That would be great. If I watch one of his reviews, it's 3 minutes long. Everything's garbage. It's whoa, okay.
I like Moana. Moana 2 will be shit.
As they likely recognize it is a satirical show, and everyone in Hollywood is probably aware at this point that anyone is a potential target. The Simpsons and Family Guy have similarly made several episodes that take potshots of them, and again, the Walt Disney Company has largely ignored those jokes. And yes, I recognize the irony there. Yet you see these thumbnails with fake images of crying Kathleen Kennedy. Of course, I'm not saying you cannot criticize the corporate decisions made by executives, and that you have to...
She's a narcissist. I will, in her case, I will even claim that she's a pathological case. Not just your run-of-the-mill, narcissistic traits, narcissistic person. I think she's actually pathological.
Well, they had to bring back...
yes, the South Park thing went straight to the core of her ego and threw her into a narcissistic tantrum and breakdown.
I think they had to rehire Bob Iger a few years ago because after he retired, the stock was tanking. They didn't know what was going on. They were scared.
Yeah, but that was all due to his decisions in the first place. It's the typical thing that political parties do or politicians do. They put in horrible policy, then they're out of power. The next party inherits that shit, all the shit that they made, get blamed for it, for the outcomes of that, no matter what policy they make, whether they make worse policy or repairing policy. Then the old party gets back, or politician comes back, into power and reaps the rewards of the repair of the problems that they caused in the first place. That is what Bob Iger is playing here. Age-old game.
Choices made. I frequently criticized David Slazov's decision-making at Warner Brothers the past few years, and I've given negative reviews to a bunch of films that underwhelm me. But I do it by calmly explaining my stance, and I also hope that anyone who watches a video of mine can come to their own conclusions. It is incredibly obvious when someone is just repeating what they hear in these ragebait videos. Rachel Ziggler is someone else who these channels have gone after recently. She is now supposedly the most evil person in Hollywood.
She is. Everything she said was horrible and destructive and selfish, egotistical. All these are synonyms. It's just a horrible, disgusting little piece of shit. She should go back to grade school and learn some basics. She needs someone to teach her basic decency, human manners. Manners, not some alien shit.
I mean, I would say Kathleen Kennedy is probably more evil because she's in charge of something. Whereas Rachel Ziggler, she's just an actor.
No. From what I've seen,
more evil.
From what I've seen of Kennedy, she is incompetent evil.
Right, but I'm saying she's in charge of something. She's the head of a corporation.
Yeah, Rachel Ziggler is she's directed evil.
Yeah,
she really enjoys what she's doing. While Kennedy, from what I gathered, I can't seeing the reaction of her on this would give me much more insight. So take that with a grain of salt. But everything before I heard about her and what she said, what I've seen of her, she is the type who believes in this ideology blindly and then has a hissy fit when it doesn't work, but keeps on doubling down and tries to sabotage and undermine everyone who wants to correct course. But not out of true evil, but just the standard evil you get out of a petty narcissist. Rachel Ziggler, she enjoys being sadistic. You could see that in the interviews that she gave. Arrogant, haughty.
Hates, and people are going to boycott her movies, turning her into box office poison. I guess the people who paid to see the new Hunger Games movie did not get that memo. I did a video a few months ago about the upcoming Snow White movie she's starring in, which has been the subject of a lot of these videos from ragebait YouTube channels. And something I've wondered is how many people clicked on that, expecting a similar sort of video from me, only to have me not have an angry reaction to a movie that's still over a year away from release, and of which I've seen zero footage of. Sorry that the next Disney remake is not making my blood boil.
Maybe that movie should not be made in the first place. Maybe I don't need to see the movie. Maybe it's like going to a restaurant and the kitchen doors open and I can see that there's cockroaches running inside there having orgies and pigeons in the pots on the side that are all unclean and stingy. Maybe I don't want to dish out of that kitchen.
There's nothing wrong.
Because that's the kitchen of Disney. That's the kitchen that makes this movie.
I was going to say there's nothing wrong with criticizing a film not based off its content, but based off, let's say, a company doing the same style of content that we've seen in the past that was poorly put together, and going, okay, now you're taking another classic that you did with all these other Disney films, and you're going, and we've seen not the film, we've seen the behind-the-scenes actor, we've seen the behind-the-scenes writer, we've seen all these things that are lining up for failure. And yes, you can criticize what we're given so far, and guess if the same process is followed, we're going to get a bad result. Now, I'd love it to be great. I'd love the new live-action adaptation of whatever to be good. I actually like the live-action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. I thought that was pretty accurate. I thought the music was good. I like musicals, so it worked for me. Some people didn't. I totally understand that.
You can make them well. And I would just ignore it because I'm not into that.
Sure.
But I won't throw a hissy fit about it.
Right.
But I will throw a fit if you deliberately destroy, tarnish, sully. I need more words here.
Source material?
cultural artifacts, innocent beauty. Well, as innocent as Grimm's fairy tales are, but you are on the political, or you are defending the political side here that constantly talks about cultural appropriation is bad. What Disney does here is more than Disneyfication of Grimm's fairy tales, European treasures. It does a complete destruction of them, an insult. It's not even satire. It's a persiflage at best. And these are all words that people probably need to look up. I'm sorry. The thing is, if they say this beforehand, what they're gonna do, who they're gonna cast, and why, they even say why, that this is all cultural destruction. This is Maoist strategy. This is Maoist China destroying culture deliberately. And the effect this has, so they're not making these to make profit. They know, Kathleen Kennedy knows she's burning money. She doesn't care. None of these infested companies care that they're burning money while making all this propaganda shit that shits on cultural artifacts, destroys them, tarnishes them, sullies them, because it is about tainting them. Because once it is tainted, once the tainted thing is out there in official capacity from these giant brands, it will stick in people's memory. And it will tarnish the memory whether they like it or not. People who have been lifelong Star Wars fans, whether light ones or hardcore ones, have dropped out. They've left Star Wars behind. They've left Star Trek behind. They've left other things behind. And that is the goal. That is the Maoist strategy right now, the modern strategy of getting rid of all these Western cultural things, these wonderful, epic, sometimes innocent children's stories that are so that they are gone. That's how they do the destruction. They don't do it with guns blazing. They do it passive-aggressively. By making shit.
It's kind of interesting how we look at the inflated budget of a lot of these films that rely on CG. And this is normal as the years went by. Obviously, they're going to spend more money on CG to make things look better. And with live action, you certainly have to have a lot of green screens. I remember the budget for Jurassic Park back in the day. This is cutting edge CGI at the time. It was under $100 million at least. It wasn't that much. Nowadays, if you're doing anything, the budget has to be over $100 million or over $200 million. And I don't know the exact budget for a lot of these live action shows, but we're talking at least 150 to 250 for one pop. And if they're good, then it's like, wow, they really spent a lot of time. But honestly, I think a lot of this budget is overblown in general because nowadays you can get an animator, a modeler. It's a very competitive marketplace, and you can get a whole team, a whole studio, and maybe they go with the same guys, and that's just how it goes. I don't know what the politics are of who's part of what group in Hollywood and who does all the big budget films and in Disney.
It's all to funnel the money into the pockets of the ideologues who are on the job, to the useful idiots.
Yeah, but like for example,
because this money, all this money, once it is burnt up, this giant company will die just like they killed Star Wars. They kill all their brands, then there's nothing left of it. The wealth will be divided up by the socialists who destroyed it, and then the whole thing will be gone. A world where Disney is dead.
Well, I remember the budget.
Where Paramount is dead, where all of these companies, where Marvel is dead, where DC is dead. That is what they want. That is the goal.
I remember the budget for Last Jedi was like somewhere 200, 300 million. And the same for Beauty and the Beast. They both made over $1 billion at the box office. So that doesn't account for marketing and all these other costs they have for translation, what have you. So if it's
The Force Awakens made money because that was hope. They sold hope.
Yeah, I mean, if they were more parsimonious or they were more budgeted with their production, you'd be like, okay, fine. They did a smart move, spending the least amount of money to get the best product they can do. That would have been great. And we can't argue about the visuals in Last Jedi or Beauty and the Beast. They're all very high quality. It's with Beauty and the Beast, you're just doing a remake. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing. The story doesn't change. They didn't change the story at all, as far as I can tell. They changed some of the lyrics of songs, which is fine, and it worked out. But when you change the nature of a story, like when you change Snow White, and you're being told, "Oh, we're going to have multicultural dwarves," or we're going to have, the Snow White doesn't need a prince to be saving her. You're like, wait a second. We didn't pay to see that. We paid to see Snow White. We don't want to see Snow White Disney 2.0. So the problem is not spending all this money, although I would appreciate it from just a realistic perspective that they actually did find someone to bring costs down. So it's not this giant waste of crap that they did. It's something that, okay, this is a nuanced take. So it's kind of like a smaller budget production, and Disney's allowing it to be treated as a big production, even though it's not. That would sit a bit more comfortable with me, as opposed to we're going to spend hundreds of millions and we're going to change the world, and where it's like, dude, slow down. You are in ideologue land. Get out of it. Just give the people what they want, and everything will be fine. Don't
like
blow the
Pal
budget.
World.
I don't
Give them Pokemon with
guns.
with Minecraft with guns.
Give the Americans some guns that could blow away some cute critters. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh my God, the game sold like hotcakes, like the most hotcakes, like heroin laced hotcakes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like man, wow. This is what happens when you give people what they want.
I'm looking.
And it's not even. It's not even that great in the gameplay. It's nothing revolutionary in any way. It's just, here are 3 cool concepts. Let's mash them together. Oh, cool! People will buy it.
Well,
bam.
The only thing I'm looking forward to this year, aside, and they're coming out this month and next month, is Nightingale and Unicorn Overlord, which just was announced months ago. And
Is that a Dungeon Keeper game?
It's the Vanillaware game. So
It says Overlord. Is it a Dungeon Keeper game?
No.
I want a Dungeon Keeper game.
Well, if you like the
unicorns.
the 90s CG art from 16-bit graphics, like it's a Vanillaware game. It's all well drawn 2D art combined with ogre battle and I'd say Three Houses style concepts and gameplay. There's all voice acting. You have a cooking mechanic. You got all kinds of beautiful stuff. It is like everything about JRPGs is just slammed into one game, and it came out so quickly, or it's coming out next month so quickly. I'm like, oh my God, Atlas, what are you doing? Atlas is just knocking it out of the park the past few years.
Are they trying to compensate for something?
I don't know. I mean, Persona 3 Reloaded just came out. Everyone loves it. Persona 5 was a huge hit. They're just doing so well in the JRPG world, and we're getting this. Just look at the animations. Like go to their Atlas USA YouTube channel and just look at the Overlord videos. They're beautiful. They're fully voiced. They show game mechanics. One is a music, like 10 minutes of music, and it's all 16-bit wavetable. There's no
cool.
It's all MIDI. It's all beautiful. Classic style. Like if you really like JRPGs, like for me, it's like, oh, this is so good. And they show walking animations in the music of all the major characters, I presume. And it's like, wow, this sounds great. This looks amazing. It's just one of those things that just works for me. So Atlas is doing well. And I'm
so what you're saying is I need to learn coding proper. 3D modeling, rigging, animation, music, and all of that, and make my own Dungeon Keeper.
Well,
with blackjack.
RPG Maker was free this week on Steam, so if you want to make a JRPG,
completely free?
Yeah. Well, there's all these.
Which version? VX or Ace or VX Ace or MX or?
I think it's MX. I don't remember. Yeah. I really can't remember.
God, I hated it when they changed the standard sprites to the 1 square ones.
People like that.
I hate them. I hate the 1 square ones.
All right. Okay.
I want the normal 2 square ones back. Those look proper.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I'm just excited. That's the only 2 things I'm excited about this year. Amazingly. So it's just February, so I'm sure I'll find something new.
of the Disney remakes have made my blood boil. Something I wonder is what joy do they even get out of making these types of videos?
Who cares?
That was someone who worked for a popular movie-related YouTube channel who then found...
They want to make the thing that you allude to but refuse. Bring up critique. Figure out why are all the things coming out shit. Oh, they're saying it out loud. They're doing it deliberately.
Yeah, it's like saying...
Maybe we don't like people who deliberately make all this shit.
Yeah,
maybe we don't want incompetent people leading places. We also don't want evil people leading places, and we certainly don't want incompetent evil people leading places.
Yeah.
All of these are they're not options. It's not I want one of these more than the other. I want none of them.
Well,
none of them.
What he did was attack critics saying, well, they can't like, what do they like? They can't like anything. It's like, yeah, I like good stuff. I know how writing works. I know how game development kind of works, and I know how progression of a story with game development works. And if people criticize me saying, well, you don't like Deus Ex at all because it's you don't like the story, what do you like out of Deus Ex? Like, I love Deus Ex. I love all these games with fully voice-acted people where they try to put a coherent story together, and you realize it fails a lot of the time, unfortunately. So then you have to bring your standards down. You say, okay, we're not doing a AAA game. We're doing a experimental, maybe this will be fun, maybe the plot threads people will forget about and focus on something else. Like there's reasons to like a game of a certain standard, and to bemoan the fact that it wasn't a higher standard that was sold as, like for Mass Effect or Deus Ex. Even though the mechanics are great, even though the talking mechanic in Deus Ex Human Revolution is one of the best, the story does not facilitate it, unfortunately. The character does. The characters in the dialogue does. But yeah.
I don't want to have to see another Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Can you imagine like forgetting what it came from and going, "Oh, it's a great story." It's like, what do you compared to what? Like, what are you comparing it to? What are you talking about? It's a great story. Oh, I like the characters. Yeah, compared to nothing.
I don't want to see another Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
That had a deplorable, non-existent story, horrible, ham-fisted, in-your-face characters, destruction of characters, complete nonsense, questionable gameplay. Some people like it. I don't. It lacks the core features of Bayonetta.
Yeah.
And why would I want more of the shit? And then the fucking people, the fucking developers who get this criticism like, hey, what the fuck did you just make here? I waited for this game for 5 years. You postponed it several times. And what comes out is a mashed together crap heap of 2 prior titles whose sequels you just mashed together. So to get some mediocre game whose story is neither thought through, nor intelligent, nor interesting in any way. It's just go to these 5 places and get to do that. And the guy who you were helping, he's actually the bad guy. Wow, what a fucking surprise! This is that's Mario 64 in little bit with a different skin. Fuck that. The first 2 games, intelligent story. They had flaws, all right. But they made a fucking double time loop work. As much as you can do that. Third one, garbage. And it's informed by the same shit that ruined Disney. I don't want more of that. I want the good stuff. And the good stuff won't happen as long as this ideology is holding everyone in a chokehold. Make it go away, or everything else will be gone. This is the cultural revolution through the back door. And the cultural revolution is not a good thing. It's not a revolution for something good. I think the term revolution shouldn't even be used with any of the socialist crap. Because they don't want it to move forward. A revolution means it's a turnaround. Something's turning. But they want the turning to stop once they have it all. That's why they destroy everything, so that there's never ever a way out, so that you can never think of anything but their crap anymore.
All right.
I'm angry.
And was fired. They started a new channel, initially about movies, but then morphed into just gossiping and ranting about celebrities. Is that something they genuinely enjoy doing, or is it just for the views? Of course, YouTube...
Both. And no, I wouldn't say, or maybe neither.
Well, we make the same criticism.
The views come automatically, but these people, yeah.
We make the same criticism of people on the other side saying, what are those guys? It was like, what's his name?
Matt Walsh?
No. The actual people who defend these people in Star Wars or these actors and all these sayings, like they've grown in size because people believe in this ideology and people encourage them. So it's the same argument. Like, why are these people doing this? It's because people like it. They keep making more of it. They get the clicks. They get the ad revenue. That's business. That's how it goes. And they can I guess they can make a lifestyle out of that. I don't really care. But what's wrong with that? I even, as much as I disagree with some of these weirdos, and we've covered them before, they're doing fine. So there's an audience for everything out there. And YouTube is the place for that. So it doesn't, like, this is not a problem. This is normal.
Man, Brendan Fraser got old. He looks like Captain Kirk.
Yeah, well, he's still acting, so that's good.
Yeah, but wow.
Anyone can post on, and you're free to upload whatever you like as long as it does not break the community guidelines. Not that YouTube is always that great at monitoring who breaks them. My main concern, as I said, is the negative influence this can have on people who watch these videos.
Oh, boo-hoo!
They see the critique?
Video games are causing violence. Sure they are, yeah. What is the problem with critics who are critiquing Kathleen Kennedy? Like, what's that causing? Do you know? Does anyone? Is it causing people to just like go outside and say, I don't like Kathleen Kennedy anymore? Is that such a bad thing for valid reasons? What is your problem, sir?
He doesn't want us to see both sides of the coin. He only wants us to see the happy, innocent stuff where we have to forgive everything because these women are trying so hard. You know, you shouldn't criticize women because women never do anything wrong. They can't make any mistakes. And because you have that attitude, they get away with murder.
But what is the alternative saying? Let's sugarcoat everything so that we're not too offensive when we criticize a game or a film. It's like, well, I didn't like it. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars, but it's okay. It's not bad. I just didn't really like it from my perspective. Like, what do you want to say? What do you want these people to argue exactly? What they think and feel, which is accurate and hopefully objective, or just a bunch of, well, you know, it's not for me. It's not really the greatest thing. It's better than most. Like, no. Let them be as brutal as possible. Let them be as negative as possible. And then you can say, wait a second, is this guy full of shit? Is he just angry all the time? Or is there a problem with movies? Is there a problem with the genre of film? Maybe that's the case. And if there is, then you have to address that and say, well, I disagree. I think these films are good because of X, Y, Z. And then you get into an argument, and then you can listen to other people's views, and you might actually learn something. It's really simple when people just say positive things all the time. Oh, Brie Larson, you don't like her, that's fine, but I kind of do, blah, blah, blah. Great. No one learned a thing. She didn't learn a thing. She got praise. You praised her. You obviously wasn't very critical with her. Anyone can criticize anything. It's the validity of the criticism. If the evidence exists, if the argument is appropriate, then great. We can have a discussion. If not, all he's doing is saying, I don't like negative reviews of things I don't feel are negative.
He's a shilling apologist.
This is not an argument.
He's a gaslighter.
I mean, I can go to Krispy Kreme and go, I love Krispy Kremes. How could anyone hate this stuff? And I'd be like, well, it's extremely unhealthy. It'll probably kill you in like 20 years. You'll get really fat. But, you know, if you love Krispy Kreme, you know, be my guest. Balloon up to 100 pounds overweight and have a great death. You know, that's America. You know, it's beautiful, I guess. So it's great. You're free to like bad shit or eat to excess or consume to excess. So, you know, I like JRPGs. I like side scrollers. I like all kinds of games. They're kind of silly, but for whatever reason, those games just resonate with me. There's something special about level design. I like the Castlevania dark, gloomy, magical environment that you're able to run around in. That's great. People think it's silly. Good for them. But if there's criticism about it, and there's plenty of it, the fans of those games already know it. And they will tell you why the storytelling in certain games like Castlevania sucks, or Metroid, or any of those style of games really suck. And they do. They're paper thin. Doesn't stop us from enjoying the game as a game, though. So.
This is the right way to look at media, and that hating actors.
Oh, the right way. There's only the right way to look at media, guys. Okay.
We're not media literate, Smud.
You're watching media wrong, or whatever the hell is the statement.
You're criticizing problems wrong.
Oh boy.
For some random comment in an interview is perfectly normal behavior. These
We've seen these people in interviews. That's what interviews are about, so that we get to know these people. We can judge people based on that. I can judge all the fucking people who compete in this MasterChef show. There's a fucking creeps in there. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's funny though. It's
that I think really they carried that they made fail upwards, kept them through, so that people would stay engaged with the negative competition of the show, to hope that, oh, maybe this episode, this narcissist or this absolute sadistic psychopath is gonna be thrown out of the show. And then every time, just 1 or 2 episodes before the finale, the idiot that they carried through gets thrown out.
I don't know.
Every time.
Have you watched American MasterChef? The guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I've only watched the American so far.
It's the guy with the beaver, the Roadkill Meat. Oh my God, that was funny. I was laughing.
Oh, I remember that guy.
What season was that? The one who ate
it was one of the early seasons. It was one of the early
so
seasons.
Funny. The look on his face when he was trying to explain, no, beaver meat is very different. Guys, it's very different. You don't know what I'm talking about.
He wasn't the audition, right?
Yeah, he passed the audition. He made it.
He passed the audition?
Yeah, it's great. He was amazing. It was hilarious stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking of, I think it was season 4.
Well, but look, the thing with beaver meat, sorry, but the thing with beaver meat and squirrels with, but that's vermin. Well, it's the same family as deer. Technically, deer are just very big rats, which I hate to admit because I love deer.
All right.
Yeah, venison's very good.
Yeah, there's lots of funny characters on those shows, but it's a lot of stage stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, I know. But some of these characters, they're truly a bit mental.
Oh yeah,
and you can just, and if you only do it from the supercut. That these episodes are, you can make psychological profiles of the obvious weirdos there. It's not very different. Like this what was it? A stay-at-home dad from Miami Beach or something, who's a surfer and married a woman who already had 5 children.
Oh.
Leslie. Leslie. Yeah. So that she could fulfill her dream and work, and he would be the stay-at-home dad with the 5 kids. She then had two more, so he at least had his own kids. And this man was like many other people, a complete child. And anytime he cooked on his own, it was fine. The moment he was in a team, his team would lose because he's incapable at team play. And anytime he was a team leader, it completely went out the window because everything he did was, and this is a leftist thing. Leftists love to do this. I'll when I'm a leader, everyone can do what they want. So you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do that. Okay, do that. Like there's nothing coming together. That's not leadership. And why he does that, and the same in this one instance where it's just a 2-person team, and he wooed the other person which was a good cook, by saying, you can do whatever you want, and I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Just tell me what to do. And she said, yep, that's cool. This is because when he puts his leadership consists of, I put the decision making onto everyone else, so that when we fail, it won't be my fault. If we win, it's my awesome leadership. If we fail, it's everyone's fault for making bad decisions. I didn't make any of these decisions. Everyone else made the decisions. This is a person who does not want to take responsibility. And you had a couple of these weird, very weird characters throughout the seasons, and it's always completely opposite. Not opposite, obvious. What is wrong with them?
My favorite asshole character from the U.S. MasterChef was I think it was season 3 or 4. I think it was 3. The guy his name was Ryan, and he was always claiming to be a better chef than everybody, but every time they brought up his profile, it always said unemployed at the bottom. It's like he can't hold a steady job. He's an asshole to everybody. He was so funny in like
I remember the name, but nothing inside.
He was like a 20-something loser. Like he couldn't hold a steady job. And he partnered up with like the only other worst cook on the show, Tally. And they were like the worst of the worst, those two.
Oh, I remember the idiot, the Baka duo. Tally was this guy who made random shit, was totally full of himself. My dish is awesome. These actual master chefs, they just don't understand my dish.
Yep, exactly.
And littered his entire lane with throwing everything on the floor, all the machinery, all the food
pots
leftovers.
And yep.
And his comment afterwards, after he got dunked on by "What the fuck are you doing?" You'd be thrown out of any kitchen. This is a safety hazard at the very least. His only comment was then, after the Ramsay was gone, was, don't they have cleaning people? He didn't even understand the fucking problem. That is how you know somebody's emotionally immature at the very least.
Yep.
These people always eventually fail. And they're carried through by the other people in the competition. This is how you see it's a negative competition, not the positive one, where it's just about finding the best cook. It's a negative competition where you try to sabotage the other good competitors by carrying through the bad guy, so that in case you end up in one of these pressure tests where somebody actually has to go, you would be paired up against the incompetent guy and have a joker, basically. And what is baffling to me is how these joker types almost every time passes fucking pressure test. That's what I never understood. How does that even work?
Yeah,
makes no sense. But this is all just a very, very big tangent involving food on why, through interviews and similar things, we can actually judge whether a person's good or not. Yes, framing is a thing, but the way that these Hollywood personalities all carry themselves, or most of them carry themselves, we know Hollywood is full of narcissists and psychopaths. That there's the occasional good guy. Those are the people who stand out. The Chris Hemsworths and the Henry Cavills, they stand out as the decent people.
Right. But yeah, speaking of the Rachel Ziggler thing, I heard from someone that said because the writer strike was going on, it was the only reason people took notice of what she said.
No.
About Snow White and everything.
Nobody fucking cares about the fucking writer strikes. Nobody watches that self-aggrandizing garbage of idiots.
But people were saying, like, because it was going on, because it was getting so much attention, people were focusing on Hollywood.
Sounds like damage control.
No. I'm saying, like, they were focusing on, laser focused on Hollywood because of the writer strike. That's why people took notice of what she said. Because if the writer strike wasn't going on, it would have been what she said would have been completely ignored. Like nobody wouldn't.
No. I believe that is a complete straw man. That is a complete straw man for damage control. It's actually blah, blah, blah. No. We look at these cultural artifacts are under attack, deliberate. And
I'm not saying
we have a lot of people who watch all of this stuff.
I'm saying, like, because that was going on, people were focusing on Hollywood a lot more because of the writer's strike. That's why they noticed her comments. Because if it hadn't been going on, it probably would have gotten noticed. We probably would have had like a couple weeks talking about it, but then it would have gotten brushed under the radar or under the rug.
I understand what you're saying. I disagree. I think that's a stupid excuse. I don't think anyone gave a shit about the fucking writer strikes because it was except for laughing about it, because it was all the worst, worthless, incompetent people of Hollywood that nobody needs, that are completely overpaid. Nobody likes these people. When they strike, nothing of value is lost. Nothing. And people would have still watched that shit, and she gave quotes for the ages. She is just like Amber Heard, just like Brie Larson, except that the latter two are like clones of each other, which I find absolutely baffling.
That's a good one.
Because I mistook them for each other for a long time because they look almost the same. Is there a connection between looks and narcissistic psychopathy, Smud?
The ridges of the eyes, maybe? I mean, you're talking about the general demeanor of someone who does not have emotion during certain moments. So yeah, but not in general. It's very hard to pick that apart. So
the strange thing is, and this is a thing all around. The most obvious female psychopaths I have met are all blonde and blue-eyed women. Not all blonde, blue-eyed women are psychopaths, mind you. But most of the ones I've met and seen on screen were that. It's the strangest, even in interviews by like, what's his name? The Change My Mind guy.
Oh, Steven Crowder?
Yes, Steven Crowder. Even he interviewed random people on the street. The girl turns out to be a complete psychopath who thinks killing babies is okay because she wants it. She's more important. Great. Amazing. And I'm not talking about early term abortions. I mean like up to birth and after. Because she's the originator of the new human, therefore she is allowed to decide about its life and death at will. Absolutely baffling every single time, and the manner, the body language, the expressions, it's always the exact same deadpan stare. It's fucking crazy. Maybe it's just not as obvious with brunettes and darker eyes. I don't know. I hope.
Well,
so.
there is
because,
a certain brain design or brain chemistry as well for narcissists. So it's amazing. But
there are genetic components, but
sure.
That's why Sicilians are so full of psychopaths.
Yeah.
Generations of mafia does this.
Let's not get into that. That's hitting too close to home. Anyway, let's keep going.
I know.
Foster certain media illiteracy, as they often lash out and get angry at the most ridiculous things, and others copy this.
Such as?
I talked about this in my video about the political themes in animated Disney movies, but one of the latest is declaring something woke, having a certain type of character in a major or even minor role, or because of a certain political message. Woke just now seems to be used by some people to say, I don't like this. There was a video game reaction that went viral not too long ago, where someone was angrily ranting about a video game asking for pronouns and blaming it on California for some reason.
Is he talking about as?
Yeah, he's talking about as in Starfield.
Yeah. By the way, here, tranny here. Pronouns are shit. They're stupid. We didn't ask for them. You assholes pushed them onto us. You invented this shit for your stupid ideology to get people brainwashed into buying into this shit, this virtue signaling garbage, and to roleplay their made-up genders all on behalf of helping us, whom you sweep under the rug because you ignore the actual science. You are the fucking flat earthers of biology. Fuck you.
And the
You
clip
idiot.
that we all know about as was, I think, a 5-hour difference between the character creation and the scene where he just can't take it anymore. So
Yeah.
it's like
Long
if you're
build
playing
up.
a game for 5 hours, like especially Starfield, you're like bored. It's like, ugh. So, whatever turns your crank, obviously that was enough for him. So
I still
I'm
don't
at
get
the
that.
point where I
still
can't
don't get
stand
that
the
argument of his.
overuse of they at this point in the English language. That media has been increasingly using for the past 5 to 10 years. It's confusing. When everybody knows, like MasterChef is a prime example of that, where they always say, "Oh, this cook did this and that really well or really bad. They this and that," and you already know it's a guy or it's a woman. You already know that, and it's just like, stop using this in the singular. It's horrible. It's confusing, especially for foreigners. I know there's a difference between how the English and the United States use it, but still, the left always advocates for, our language engineering is actually totally okay when we invent this newspeak and redefine all the words to confuse you people, because language changes, it's organic, it has an evolution, so the change is normal. So eat our artificial change that is destroying everything. When a language evolves, it becomes more precise. What all the socialist garbage does, it makes things less precise. So when we use suddenly indistinct pronouns for men and women that are plural as well, so we can't even tell, are you talking about one or many people, it gets more confusing. It's not an evolution of language, it's a devolution, it's a degeneration. English has stopped evolving since the, I think, 16th century or something. It's horrible. Get on the level of the continentals for once. At least about that. You don't need to improve your cooking. The Americans are taking care of that. But fucking hell, work on your language. You have some of the greatest literatures despite that garbage. I'm sorry I'm wrong. I'm so sick of this day shit. Stop it. Especially foreigners get massively confused by this crap. If you want, you can clip this whole thing and send it to Az. He needs. I think he can use the support.
all right.
I'm done. Sorry.
More than halfway done. Well, almost halfway done, actually.
So angry about. I remember playing computer games as a child that would start by asking if
Yeah, when you played computer games as a child, they weren't full of degenerate sex shit and confusing language that insinuated that there's more than two genders, more than two sexes. Man, what might you be? Are you a boy or a girl? I don't know. I'm a trigender droid self. Very kind. A nine-tailed swings. Fuck you. When you were a child, video games made sense. Video games told good stories. Maybe they were a bit buggy if you're so old that you got to... No, I think you're too young to have been through the Atari meltdown.
Or the Sierra series. I don't think he played those adventure games.
I don't think he would have survived the Sierra game.
Yeah.
Those things were mean.
Okay.
boy or girl. Your gender has long been a requirement on any passport. Many of us will laugh at these explosions.
Sure.
Yeah, but those are the real ones. The ones that exist. Boy or girl, not they. Nobody is a they. How many are you? They, this is a plural, is used when you address royalty. And English already uses the plural you in the singular, because that has the second person plural has replaced the second person singular, which was thou. That English always uses the plural you when talking in singular. So you're basically always using royal politeness when talking to someone directly. That's why the verb for you is are. So you don't say you is, you say you are. Are is the plural of be. What this means further is a third person. Who the fuck talks in the third person about someone directly? Third person singular. If I talk to you, Smut, would I ever talk to you as he?
Like, who?
That is what you do to royals. To royals you talk in the third person because it is impolite to address them directly. And if I talk about Smud in the third person, he's most likely not in the room. So who the fuck gives a shit what pronoun I use? I use the one that refers to him. If I say they, people don't know about how many people I'm talking. Or whether I'm talking about the king or the queen. Get your language in order. Fight back against this garbage. I can give the German example. It works similar. It's a bit different, but it works similar.
I think we're
Anyway.
good. I think we're good.
Anyway.
But there are also plenty who watch these and think, he's right, even when it's complete nonsense, and then spread that sort of thing around. This leads to the media literacy I mentioned earlier. For example, complaining about a franchise
Oh no, he
shoving
said the
political themes
thing.
in your face, even when it's
Allegedly, he said it before too, and we missed it.
Oh no. Let's just keep going.
Star Wars is often used as an example of this, but the one I find especially perplexing is Star Trek.
No!
Star Trek
No!
producers tend to drop complaints from these sorts of channels and those who watch them for being so focused on political themes. This ignores
Because they are. Because
Star Trek was once not about politics, it was about philosophy. It was science fiction. Science fiction is philosophy. Politics is not philosophy. Politics is sophistry. It is rhetoric. It is propaganda. It is slogans. Politics should be informed by philosophy to get all of this other bullshit out, this corrupt shit that I just listed. If it isn't, well, the corrupt shit dominates. And what we now have is all media, including the one that should be philosophical, to just be sophistry, to be propaganda, to be garbage. That is why the Orville is so great. Why the Orville is better Star Trek than the Star Trek that is made today. It is the actual Star Trek that just doesn't have the brand name. Because the Orville is philosophical. It is real science fiction. It presents you with a concept, explores that somewhat, and leaves the conclusion to you. While all the new Star Trek, with the official brand stamp on it, does not do that. It preaches to you what you should think and how you should feel. That is not philosophy. That is brainwashing. And you are too dumb to notice that because you have nothing between your ears but your eye socket.
Even if we want to address the level of content related to the genre that Star Trek represents, just look at the main characters of Discovery. Was it Michael? Her name is Michael.
Diverse character A.
She is one of the most Mary Sue characters in TV I've ever seen. And
she is the standard black woman character with even the exact same shit for her hairstyle.
Well,
you see she is the same character as the black woman super engineer who could do nothing wrong, Mary Sue, who's liked by everyone, from The Expanse, with the same shit for her hairstyle.
Well,
which is the same engineer super genius, although at least a retard, from season 7 of the Clone Wars, which was the stupid filler interlude to have Ahsoka do something while the plot of the movies happens, who had the same shit for her hairstyle. This is a stereotype. Yeah, this character, this woman, this what was it? The Brian woman, Dave. What male name? Michael.
Michael, yeah, Michael Burnham.
Michael the woman.
Yeah.
who's the daughter of Spock, sister of Spock.
The sister, well, she was she's a human who went to Vulcan, and then they adopted her under the family. Her brother was Spock. She ended up becoming...
She has Spock's story, but more.
Yeah, she's smarter than any other Vulcan she went to school with. She graduated first of her class. She ends up being the prophesized villain of the story.
She's the most Spockest Spock.
She beats a Klingon in combat. She becomes the captain of the ship. Like, everything is just amazing with her, and it's just the silliest shit. Regardless this could have been a Western. Take any genre. It's just ironic that Mary Sue was created in fan fiction and Star Trek fan fiction, and now we have this bizarre.
It is fan. Yeah, it is. It is. The fan
show.
Fiction has replaced the real thing,
and they happen to include Mary Sue.
Like that are the ones who fall for this ideological crap, because people who write fan fiction like that are emotionally immature. They can't actually write anything better. They're not capable of writing anything better. The people who write this now, they think this is the most awesomest shit ever.
And they wanted to do a spin-off of this called Section 31, which was, I think, 2 episodes in Deep Space Nine, which was a cool concept, but you don't want to... Like, the idea of having a bunch of wet work guys in the future, of Roddenberry's future, where the Federation is good, they're positively on the level, everything about the Federation is good, and to have these spies in the background murdering and destroying things is like the craziest backwards thing. And in DS9 it works, because DS9 was supposed to be the opposite in certain ways of the Federation or of Star Trek. And that's where it belongs, as an episode or 2, not as an entire...
And as this hint that and we know that there are issues in the Federation. We knew that from the first season of The Next Generation. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, the glimpse at Section 31 is this vile, any means necessary secret service that is so secret that nobody knows about it, including itself, apparently, is that in order to maintain this wonderful utopian federation with all its good stuff, you need this little dark underbelly that gets some shit done that nobody wants to acknowledge
for some reason,
so that the dream can continue on the surface.
And they take the Dark Mirror universe old captain that she ends up being. It was a dumb premise. I'm like, this cannot work.
I have repressed all knowledge of the mirror universe.
Well,
I hate it.
The concept was fine. It's just that to make a series about the antithesis of the show, and Discovery breaks lots of rules, because the whole concept of travel and what they do with the end of the galaxy, all this dumb shit. I could barely follow it.
The whole spinny ship is dumb.
Everything about it is over the top expensive for the sake of looking good, but not having substance, which is kind of sad. So there's lots of problems with the show.
Which is all that these ideologues do. It's never some substance. It's about all the oh God, what's the English word? The accidents. I think you just translated it as accidents. The happenstance attributes. We go all the way back to Aristoteles. The substance, they never care about the actual substance because they seek to replace the substance.
Yeah,
it's all about the superficial elements, what it looks like.
Yeah,
the special effects, all of those superficial things.
Things
that don't actually make the thing.
The only thing of value that I could point to just for a short time was the 3rd season of Picard, where they actually had a scene between 2 people, which was Picard and Beverly, and they were talking about their family or their lack of, and she had a child and she never told them. It's like, this is what was supposed to happen. This sort of old man looking back at his life, and then something is revealed like, oh, you had a son. That would have been a fantastic opening to episode 1, season 1 of Picard, as opposed to this crazy Borg, Vulcan, Romulan plot about the end of the galaxy with
random
Mass Effect enemies coming in to eat the galaxy. Like, all this dumb shit that did not have to happen. And then we have old Picard running around with a phaser. Like, this is stupid shit that they brought in a writer from the third season who knew the problems, and he still had to work with the crap that came before, and he tried to do the best he could, and he still failed. Like he started off okay. He was like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta bring back the characters that people care about for whatever dumb reason, and it just fell to shit. It went back to their Borg plot with the sun being some demigod bullshit. And I was like, okay, I can't care about this anymore. But that's the only thing worth talking about in Star Trek land. The fact that Discovery's
bad
ending,
soap opera.
I don't know what it is. I really don't know. It's an amalgamation of
Because it's just
nostalgia
random.
based.
Soap opera has either it is actual random writing, or it comes across as that due to its over the top sudden things happen nature. But Discovery and things that are written like it's like really, really bad soap opera where the random things that happen don't even make any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Don't connect really to anything else, and maybe are even forgotten in the next scene.
Yeah, I was trying to recall the name of the nurse on where no one. What's the new Star Trek where no one has gone before? Strange New Worlds. There it is, Strange New Worlds. And she's just flirting with everyone. She has this sort of live your day as it's your last sort of mentality. And the last I recall, she was making.
She's written by a slut.
I don't know, but she was making out with the doctor that she works under, and I was like, oh, that's where she went. Because in the original series, the nurse who was played by Roddenberry's wife was hot for Spock. Like there was sort of this chemistry between them, and that was fine. It's like, but now she's like just sleeping with.
What's subtle?
Well, yeah, it was 60s, a little more sophisticated with relationships back then. And now it's just sleeping with whatever she thinks is a good idea at the time. You're like,
which
ooh.
is not the culture of the Federation. In the Federation, everyone is a mature adult.
Well,
even the children are more mature than they are here today.
That's what we thought. Anyway,
and now everyone in the Federation is a child mentally.
Anyway, I've not watched that show since season 1. It went off the rails at season 2. So
I'm surprised you watched through that whole thing.
The first season
I haven't touched it.
Was actually really good. There was parts that were stupid, but that's normal for shows like that. So, but this first season was actually good.
I think this is mainly an American problem. That the first season is always shit. And then you have to wait until season 3 until the show becomes decent.
No, that's the opposite with Strange New Worlds. The first season was good. Everything else after that was garbage. And even the people who liked the first few episodes of season 2 are like, nope, it gets worse. So
watch Andor. It's good Star Trek.
All right.
Wars.
Okay.
Has been heavy on political themes and pushing diversity from the very beginning. Gene Roddenberry made it a requirement for the Enterprise.
That's not the same. You make the stupid Mott and Bailey apologia. That is not the diversity you're pushing today. This was back in the day, was everyone coming together, bringing their best, and we have overcome our differences. Wonderful. The diversity, in quotation marks, that you are pushing today is everybody has to be replaced by black gay people.
Yeah, the message of Roddenberry's Star Trek was not, we're all together and this is how it works. It was just something in the background, like humanity got out of its infancy. We just accepted, we were ethical, we're moral, we're here to learn, and we're here to go on a journey. We're here to explore the galaxy. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that was basically everyone is a good guy. What the diversity, in quotation marks, that you push today is black gay people are amazing, Asian people maybe sometimes, and all the white people, especially the men, are evil and or dumb, and it's okay when they die because they are evil and or dumb. Yeah. That is not diversity. That is racist, sexist garbage.
I just don't like
race fetishism. That's what the Nazis did, just with the arrow spun around on the wheel of fortune, where it now points at the different race and sex, additionally, and sexual orientation, at a different race that is the Übermensch, and another one which is the evil big nose tribe.
I just don't like
the evil big nose tribe is now the Caucasians. And the Übermenschen, that's the gay black people.
I just don't like the concept of Star Trek, like the premise of humanity has got out of its problems, like they solve poverty. And that's not the message of Star Trek. The message of Star Trek is to not be afraid to explore, to learn, and to challenge, not this whole, oh, everyone's great. We have dilithium crystals. The needs and wants of the few are maintained, and we have this surplus economy. We're all great. It's like, that's not the message.
They did not have replicators yet.
They did, but they were for food. So it was all just like, punch cards.
In the original series?
Yeah, they had punch cards for their food.
All right. Oh God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, they had the replicators, not with the special effects. They
Microwaves.
They still had the lid on them.
Yeah, the thing, they cover the thing, they open the lid, and then there's the food. And,
So long ago.
Yeah.
But this we've overcome our differences. That's the premise.
Exactly. It's not
Star
the
Trek.
message. It was just the setting. It's like part of the furniture. It's like, yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing during the Cold War.
It's like when you get into watching Firefly, the setting is this post-cyberpunk world where Chinese is the main language, and it's like, that's just the setting. The message is not China's going to take over the world or anything like that.
No, it had a giant influence.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the setup. It's just that, thank you. Let's get on with the story.
It's not the main language, but it had an influence where Chinese intermingled with English, the same way that French intermingled with English.
Right. So this is where I get pissed off with, like, oh, it's Star Trek has always been left leaning. It's like, no,
not in the same way. It's like the difference is, like, if you believe there is such a thing as the good left, that original series Star Trek, that was that. The Next Generation also was that. The stuff that you are trying to equate it to, that this guy in the video is trying to equate it to, the new Star Trek shit. That is, in comparison to that, Nazi crap. It's the very thing you believe you are against. But you didn't even notice how the left took its mask down and told you, you have to make everything about race now. You have to be sexist now. You have to judge people based on their sexual orientation. Because that's what you're doing. You're doing the very thing that you called out the conservatives and the Nazis for decades. You've become that. And the truth is, what you call the left always had these beliefs. They just pretended that they were better than that. And being better than that is what good people are. But the left only pretended to believe in the good versions of all of them. The truth is, they wanted to play divide and conquer, and you play divide and conquer by making people hate each other based on race, sex, skin color, if you want to be that petty, the shape of your nose, the kind of hat you wear, whom you're into, all of that. And that's what the left is doing. It is a giant divide and conquer game played in six ways at the same time.
Well, any science fiction
that you atomize.
Any science fiction that deals with the concept of eliminating scarcity, you don't have issues like politics as a setting. The issue is whatever the episode's about, not the premise or the setting of the characters. So that's fine. That's Star Trek. People get confused. That's totally fine. Anyway.
Bridge, wanting to present a message of racial equality having been achieved in the future. He also made it clear to the writing staff that every episode should
equality before the law and mutual respect. And that respect, and that is the key thing. So one, equality before the law, great. But we're not all equal. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same skills. We don't all have the same talents. We're specialized. We are different. And it is those differences we bring together that make a greater whole. But what we do have in the Kirk Star Trek and the Picard Star Trek, the original, is mutual respect for each other, despite our visual differences. And even across species with the aliens, with Spock, or with artificial life forms like Data later on. That is there. The mutual respect. And respect is what this new stuff, the new diversity, that is not diversity, is lacking. It makes you hate. It makes you despise. You hate people based on their immutable attributes. The very thing that the Nazis did, that in the widest sense the U.S. Constitution is against, that the Human Rights Charter that was written against or in response to the Nazi atrocities was written about, and that the German Constitution, since after 1945, was written against the atrocities of the Nazis, to not judge people based on these immutable characteristics again. But social justice, this type of diversity, racial justice, environmental justice, all of this stupid crap. And racial justice is a word that Germans refuse to translate because, my God, it does sound like it's right out of Hitler's book. That is all against the German Constitution, against the Human Rights Charter, against the US Constitution. Could it be that you are the evil guys and you're too stupid to see it because you've been conditioned, you've been primed? I don't think you're evil. I think you're stupid. And it is that stupidity that makes you unable to see through this. That's why I think Stalin coined the term, useful idiots are so helpful for the revolution. But once the revolution is done, you don't need them anymore because they don't actually produce anything. So, once you get all the stuff that you think you're fighting for, they'll do away with you. But that's, well, hopefully in the far away future and not the near future. Because when that happens, we're all in for a pickle. One last point on that, as just as a historical reminder, because all of these cornerstones are set up for this next socialist tyranny. The destruction of culture is one part of that. Is what people outside of Germany usually don't know, is that 2 weeks before the Berlin Wall was built, the Minister of the Interior of East Germany, the socialist one, said in an interview with exactly the voice I am going to make now, nobody has the intention to build a wall. He was the guy who signed that bloody thing. 2 weeks before the first stone was laid. He was asked, is there a wall being built? And he gaslit the public. He lied and said, nobody has the intention to build a wall. You have no idea how quick this switch is going to flip once enough horrible shit is in place. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from now that it can happen, and you will not recognize the world. And you will live in a prison you can't escape anymore. Good luck. Thanks for helping make it.
Contain and political views, and base the future depicted in Star Trek on his own ideas of how society should be. But these channels don't mention this so as not to clash with the narrative they're presenting, with Hollywood only recently exploring and discussing these concepts in movies and television shows. Another example is how Barbie was decreed by these YouTube channels as some man-hating manifesto, which is a complete misinterpretation of that movie. Barbie is not an anti-man movie at all, but rather a film that advocates for equality of the sexes.
No, it didn't. That was its intention. That's what the author maybe wanted to do, but she mainly wanted to criticize the patriarchy by oppressing the Kens. What you are not watching the thing. You're just reading us the propaganda of the things. You're not looking at the substance. This is where death of the author becomes important. What does the movie actually convey? It fails completely at the author's intent. We can look at the author's intent, we can look at the movie, we look at them separately, and then we look, did she actually succeed in what she wanted to tell? And the answer is no. But you tell us just what it was supposed to be, but not what it is.
She also been called anti-man, even though many of the most beloved characters among the show's fan base are men.
I don't believe that. That's all.
I've been mainly about things that are frankly not that serious in the grand scheme of things, but this sort of rhetoric about media then morphs into even worse lines of thought, and that is what really concerns me. A recent survey revealed that 20% of young adults in the United States believe the Holocaust never happened. That is a shocking statistic. If they simply
Wait. What did he just conflate? Two completely unrelated ideas? What was...
I'm making connections for my historical tangents and the political stuff.
Let me try that one more time.
Fan base are men. I've been mainly talking about things that are frankly not that serious in the grand scheme of things, but this sort of rhetoric about media then morphs into even worse lines of thought, and that is what really concerns me. A recent survey revealed that 20% of young adults in the United States believe the Holocaust never happened. That is a shocking statistic. If they simply were not aware...
There's actually no connection between these two things, except, there's horrible rhetoric. Dude, if 20% of Americans don't know the Holocaust happened, are not even in denial of it, they just don't even know. That is a product of your education system.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Your tax-funded education system, which is in the hands of the left.
I remember...
The socialists. They are the teachers... They write the curriculum. They are the ministries of education. They are currently the government.
I remember...
They hold the office.
My first year in high school, where a lot of my friends, we went to the same high school, and we intermingled with all the other kids from other schools because they're also going into grade 9. And one of my friends, he was sort of interested in one of the girls I grew up with. He said she didn't even know what the USSR was back in the day. It's like, well, yeah, we weren't taught that. It's like... I figured it out by watching documentaries and hearing from my Ukrainian grandparents, like what happened. But, we didn't learn everything that happened in the world. We couldn't have. But he was like, what the heck? Like, that's common knowledge. It's like, not in this part of the world. We just did not know that. We were not taught everything in world history. We were taught a heck of a lot of history about Canada and the railroads and how immigrants came and all that jazz. But Europe, not so much. So it's just how it goes. It's not the children's fault.
It's not the children's fault. It's the education system's fault. And since the thing is, the left is in charge of the education system because it always wants to be, because that's how it trains its next generation of activists. Brainwash them from day one. They are the ones who want us to hate the Nazis, which is perfectly fine. They did very atrocious things. But then you would expect that especially the left would have an interest in the children knowing about the Holocaust. One of the worst atrocities in human history. Especially in recent history. Especially about their alleged political enemies. And they don't. And there's something very, very, very important about that. We keep saying, and the left love this line, we need to learn from history to not repeat it. So in order to not repeat history, I'm sorry, I forgot the actual order of the words. But you need to add something to that. Not just learn from history to not repeat its mistakes, but the one who obscures history wants to repeat it. So be wary of the left. If they do not teach about the Holocaust anymore, if they take George Orwell's works, 1984, out of university libraries, it's not just that they put pedophile works into elementary school libraries, they take out 1984 out of university libraries. That's happened here in Germany. You know where the road is going that we're on, where the left is steering us towards. And that is all. It's not that difficult. It's not that complicated. The signs are all there. And these people, they won't be talked with. They always want to talk when they're weak. But They never, like when you finally pin down the narcissist, when you finally bring consequences to the narcissist, then he wants to make apologies or want you to accept the apologies. After you've been abused 50 times, after you've given 80 chances. The truth is, these people never actually want to talk. You can't talk them, you can't convince them because they know they're liars. They want to do their shit. They're obsessed with their goals. They don't care about a good path. The path is not their goal. The goal is their goal. And they will go at it by any means necessary. And any means includes anything most horrible you can come up with. You can dream up. Everything bad that happened in history is justified to them if they do it to get to their goal. And things you haven't even thought up yet. And that is the ideology of evil. That's not incompetence. If you want to reach your goal by any means necessary, including the tactics of the worst people in history, like the Nazis, because those are included in any means, then you are not just dumb. You are evil. And this idiot is defending that because he's never thought this through. He can stop being an idiot, but man, that's going to be a harsh awakening. But it's one that I hope a lot of people go through, because otherwise it's going to look very, very dark in the near future. Man, I'm having too many rants today. Sorry.
All right.
That's something you can chalk up to the failures of the educational system. But so many young people thinking the Holocaust is a myth is something else entirely. This is something they're taught, with surveys revealing that many who believe this sort of misinformation are likely to have learned it from platforms like YouTube and TikTok.
And why could that happen? Why could they get that? Because they weren't informed by the education system in the first place, which is run by the left. Yes, it's the failure of the education system. You identified that correctly. Now tell me who runs the education system. Whose responsibility is that? Who is to blame? The very people you are defending, the very side of politics you are defending. Wake up. Stop being woke and wake up. Stop LARPing as waking up, which is what woke is. It's the pretense of being awake, and wake up for real. Stop with the false waking. That's just getting you from dream to dream, from nightmare to nightmare. Come up into the waking world. Join objective reality, because only then can you assess what's actually going on and fix this shit. It's not going to change by wishful thinking. It only changes by understanding what is and what isn't, by seeing all sides of every coin, including the rim, and then taking action. Then, only then, learn to understand what is going on, what your senses tell you, and analyze that. Read some Aristotle, read some Socrates. Ignore Platon if you can, because that is the guy whom most of your shit is based on.
Well,
fucking flexer.
If you're going to read Socrates, you're reading Plato's Socrates.
I know you have to read Socrates through Plato because Socrates didn't actually write anything down. Plato did that after the fact, but Plato's own ideas thrown to the bin where they belong. Aristotle had to correct them and say that this is bullshit, that is bullshit, that is bullshit. Plato even tried out his stupid republic twice, I believe, and it failed miserably. And then we keep trying it in this whole socialist garbage. And it keeps failing. And I can believe that Plato honestly tried to make something work. I don't believe the socialists are honestly trying to make that work. I believe they're only using that as an excuse to build their tyranny and grab power and enrich themselves. Because anytime they redistribute any goods, and they always talk about, oh, we're just wanting to redistribute from the rich to the poor to make everyone equal. What they really do is they redistribute from the poor to themselves. Every time. Maybe if you can't judge the thing by what it postulates it wants to do, because that always fails, but it always achieves the same result, maybe that consistent result is the actual purpose of the thing. Maybe socialism is that. Maybe socialism is to create the horrible tyranny, and Marx and Engels admitted that it is a tyranny. It must be. It's all written out. It's all admitted. So, but if you haven't read that, if you don't want to believe that, then just look at history. What was East Germany? What was the USSR? What was Maoist China? What is North Korea? What is Cuba? What happened in Venezuela? What happened in Argentina when it's socialist? What happens when the Democrats are in power in the US, or this bullshit party of Trudeau, the weird son of Castro? It's always exactly the same policies that always lead to exactly the same outcomes and a lot of dead people. Maybe that's the actual purpose. Maybe these people are mad, crazy cartoon villains, and we live in a world where cartoon villains are real. And we just think, oh no, cartoon villains only exist in cartoons because, well, that's a stupid thing to be. But there are stupid people out there that have mad ideas, and some of those stupid people with mad ideas happen to be born into rich families, or happen to be very useful to rich and powerful people with a lot of money, with a lot of power, who have crazy mad ideas. Most people with crazy mad ideas don't get to enact them because they're not rich and powerful. But they're rich and powerful people with mad, crazy ideas. Some of them are psychopaths. They don't give a shit who has to die in order to enrich them, or to build their fantasy utopia bullshit. And by the way, utopia is not something you can reach. That's in the word. Topos is the place, or the city, if you will. The U is a negation. So it's the uncity. It's the unplace, the unreachable place. How can you reach the unreachable place? You don't. That's the whole bloody problem. You cannot reach utopia. So why do you like if you want to equate that to, well, the path is the goal, so we should aim for utopia. Well, yeah, okay, aim for it. But if you try to grasp at it by any means necessary and think you want to kill, you have to kill millions, if not billions at this point, people to get there, I don't think it's justified to kill 1 billion people to get to utopia, which you can't reach, because you can't reach it. Then maybe the path to utopia is more akin to the Buddhist thing, or the Federation in Star Trek, where we all stay virtuous. And if the path is the goal, not all means are justified. And that is when you abandon socialism, because you abandon tyranny to get to utopia. Because you don't need tyranny, because you can't get to utopia. So we instead try to be, what the left loves to say, decent human beings. The left aren't decent human beings. They're the most horrible people that have ever existed. Except maybe that Chinese empress, or Katharina the Great, or some other historical figures that are hellishly creepy if you read more about them. But this is on a wider scale. I'm trying to stop myself.
Just stop. Okay, here we go.
I'm trying.
Participate in Holocaust denialism, they will often show signs of anti-Semitism.
Oh my God! Can we just skip this part? This is getting stupid.
No, this is the important part.
What is he talking about?
He's gone way off topic.
Yeah, here you can see the difference between making tangents that have a connection to what is being talked about, and somebody at the 50% mark of his video just starting to ramble about incoherent shit.
Yeah, so the people he criticizes...
First we talk about, oh, you're mean to narcissistic psychopaths in Hollywood who happen to be women, therefore you're not allowed to criticize them because, oh no, all women are damsels in distress, so you need to white knight for them in the hopes that they will let you inseminate them. And now everything is Nazis.
Well, now he's accusing critics of being anti-Semitic. I'm like, what?
Well, we've seen maybe he should have, if this video is just a couple days old, maybe he should have watched the news where the left is being massively anti-Semitic and supporting the most anti-Semitic religion since the Nazis. imaginable, which is Islam, which actively believes that the Jews must be exterminated. And that's why Islam and the Nazis worked so well together. They did. That's historical fact. Because they share a common enemy.
All right.
But hey, just saying.
Born immediately hating certain groups of people. Prejudice against black people or gay people or Jewish people is something people get from family, friends, teachers, books.
And hatred against white people, which your political side defined and keeps redefining as who's part of it and who's not, is coming from you. All the time. Hatred against men is coming from you. Hatred against heterosexuals is coming from you. Hatred against people who do not have gender dysphoria or pretend to have it or have any fetish that can be mistaken as that is coming from you. And that means 99.9% of the population, including yourself. You're a self-hating normie.
Yes. The internet. When someone hears these sorts of horrible remarks about a particular group, they might reject them and decide this is not a person worth listening to anymore. Or they fall down the rabbit hole and continue down that same path and repeat these sorts of things to others.
So because they choose to listen, therefore they are the thing that they're listening to. Really. I must have become Maggie Mae Fish because we've been covering her for years. I just kept going down the rabbit hole. That is Maggie Mae, and now I'm a whatever crazy cat lady who does makeup video. Like, what are you talking about? I can't listen.
Who likes the Cats movie?
I can't listen to random people on YouTube or I become them. Like, what are you talking about?
This is basically the same projection that the Christian moms brought 25 years ago. When they claimed that, the video games are making the children violent and into shooters because I, the Christian mom, am a emotional retard who actually can't discern between reality and fiction, and I am made more angry and violent by these video games. Therefore, the children must be as well, because these narcissistic women usually have these vile fantasies beneath the surface.
First, he's accusing the critics of saying all these things, which he has no examples of. Then he's accusing the people who watch these critics of becoming these things if they keep watching them. It's like, can you be a bit more specific? Where does the line of
the thing is,
propaganda begin?
The useful idiots on the left are people who are very easily brainwashed because they do not reflect on it.
Well, yeah, but
the primacy effect is massive with
just
the first thing they hear, they believe and join.
Just give me one video that he disagrees with, which is anti-Semitic or whatever, and then show me the people that have agreed with this or the comments.
No, you only get Mott and Bailey strawman.
Okay, well,
I
can show plenty of videos of people we've covered that are absolutely bonkers, and there's people in the comments cheering them on, and we see that with all the defenders of Disney and Hollywood and all these new comic book
and a lot of them are paid shields from the companies themselves.
I don't know.
Because they know that's important to do.
It's just a strange take that these people hate the Jews. You're like, who?
The socialists hate the Jews. We know that.
No. He's assuming
the socialist Jews hate the religious Jews and want to exterminate them. That's usually what happens in history.
I want whatever critic he doesn't like, one of their videos that is anti-Semitic. Just show me one. That will be fine.
Unfortunately have that kind of influence. The Ku Klux Klan had been largely dormant for decades before D.W. Griffith's The Birth of Nations was released and caused it to return. There were people who saw that movie, liked how the Klan was portrayed, and revived it as an avenue to spread the hateful agenda. Even the famous cross burnings were something the revived Klan took from Birth of the Nation, as this was a concept that originated from the film's source material. Back to the internet has been used to do great things, like help us to become more educated in certain topics and to connect us all. But it's also led to poisonous ideologies being more freely...
He's reading from a script at this point. I can tell what he's saying is not natural.
Really distributed. And these can unfortunately influence those who hear them and think this is the right train
That's why he's
of thought.
not blinking.
All of us have a responsibility to see what is obviously nonsense and figure out for ourselves what messages...
So watching old films, Birth of a Nation, is nonsense? We can't do that? We can't learn from that?
No, it might brainwash us. Look, that's why you must never read Hitler's stupid, idiotic book, because it will turn you into a Nazi.
I don't.
That was their justification for banning it in Germany for half a century.
Okay.
Not that if you read it, you actually notice that, oh, this is just socialism. This is actual socialism. It's the same thing that the red socialists mention all the time. It's the exact same shit.
I want to send to others. So I want to end off by recommending 3 films worth watching that highlight what I'm talking about, all of which happen to be about World War II, but remain relevant to today's times. The first is a Disney cartoon titled Reason and Emotion. Released in 1943, it's about the necessity of not letting others manipulate our emotions and take away our reasonable thinking.
Yeah,
the second
you
is
don't have
Jojo
that.
Rabbit, Taika Waititi's satirical comedy from a few years ago, told from the point of view of a 10-year-old boy who idolizes Hitler and blindly believes the Nazi propaganda that has long been foisted on him. The movie depicts the dangerous influence that certain people can have on young minds.
Which is a wonderful projection, because that is exactly what your side of politics, the hammer and sickle red socialists, the green Maoists, are doing. They make you idiots cheer. They only appeal to emotion, nothing else. There is no reason. There's no rationality to it. These pretenders like Hegel, they all talked about Vernunft, reason, which is German for reason, rational thought. That's not what they did. What is reasonable about socialism? Tell me. What is reasonable about trying the same fucking shit again and again that only kills humanity, that kills your own people? What is reasonable about that? To try the same thing again, expecting a different outcome. Einstein said that's the definition of insanity. It's irrational. Socialism is not vernünftig. It is unvernünftig. It is unreasonable. It is irrational. It is based on faith, on belief. You are in a cult, a religion that only plays on your emotions and pretends, makes you believe that you are rational, that you are a rational being. And guess what? Let's say almost, because there's always that one exception. Almost every human being on this earth believes to be a thinking, rational, reasonable, moderate human being that has a measured view of the world and understands what is going on and makes decisions based on that belief about him or herself. And most of them are wrong. Including you. Isn't that great? Because, trying to get an actual objective view of the world is very difficult. It requires self-reflection that is going to be painful, especially in the first stages, where you realize how flawed of a being you are, how many holes you have in you, how little you actually know. And once you understand that, the latter, it humbles you. If that doesn't humble you, you have a personality disorder. I'm sorry. That's just I'm going that route. Then something is really wrong with you, because you can't stand the fact that you are imperfect. Because all we see from the socialist activists is that they all think that they should be in charge, that they know better how to run humanity, how to run a nation, how to run a people, and that, well, all the people who disagree with me, they should just be gone. And we've seen on Twitter what that looks like. They want actual genocide of everyone who doesn't agree with them. Man, what a reasonable, rational thing to want. It's not like that's not been history of humanity for time immemorial. You want to talk about reason and rationality? Take a break and sit down, remove all the distractions, and just sit and think for hours and for days. because that's going to take a long. And then maybe you'll get a glimpse as to what being a conscious human being actually is like. And it may scare you. But that's the path you need to walk to become an actual adult. End of story.
It's more about how bogus the Nazi ideology is and why Hitler is not someone to look up to. Many of us know that what Hitler was saying about Jews and other groups was horrible and based on his own prejudiced views. But unfortunately, there are several in Germany who hung on to his every word and allowed his power to grow and corrupt so many.
Really?
That's a bit more complicated. There's a whole political story before that where there's way more going on, including the red socialists fuck-ups with the economy, with the whole communist bullshit, with the whole violence in the streets, which was started by the red socialists, not the brown ones. You're leaving out a lot of stuff. I understand why you simplified it, but you're simplifying it into a myth. That is not good. You have to tell the same story the way that you simplify it here. The way that you reduce it here. You have to tell it the same way about Vladimir Lenin, about Joseph Stalin, about Mao Zedong, about Che Guevara, who hunted down 30,000 gay people and to have them executed. And now they put his conterfei on rainbow flags. Fidel Castro, same story. And Che Guevara, he personally shot women and children because they didn't agree with him. That's your revolutionary hero. Viva la revolución. Wonderful. Hugo Chavez, same fucking shit. And you keep cheering these people on. You have all these leftist sophists that you call philosophers, who all turn out to be pedophiles. Are you really on the right side of history? Really? Oh, you're against the Nazis. Congratulations. Here's a slow clap for you. I'm too fast. I have too much energy right now, so I can't do the slow clap. These are not the only bad guys. All the other socialists that you are playing the idiot for here, they are just as bad. Wake the fuck up. We may have a chance of surviving the shit they want to put. Because they certainly won't need you after the revolution.
Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator, specifically the final speech when the Jewish barber ends up trading places with the titular dictator Adonai Henkel. In that speech, he tells the viewer not to be taken in by those who seek to take away our humanity and replace it with hatred for other human beings. It's a stirring speech that has not lost any of its power, importance, and relevance since Chaplin first spoke those.
Yeah, maybe you should think about that speech and wonder why there's so much negativity towards old, white, heterosexual, not trans people. Because that's exactly what Chaplin was talking about. He was talking about it in general. But you're not acknowledging that. In general, you make the exception because you have found your new Untermensch. The people you have defined as white. Who don't call themselves white. You call them white. Because you throw them all in the same pot. You're horrible people.
Serious topic than I usually talk about, but I'm concerned about the influence and manipulation that certain YouTube channels, TikTok influencers, and Twitter users have on other people, especially those
like BreadTube? Like the horse fucker and pedophile Vorsch? Like Mr. I taught in North and South Korea? Renegade Cut? Like Maggie Mae Fish, who's now finally, honestly, openly advocating for communism? Like, who else do we have? Oh, the pedophile Norality? The fucking hypocrite? Like, Lindsay Ellis was going in that direction. Who also saw the gay everywhere. Who else do we have? Tabernacle. He's another cop. If there's ever been a useful idiot, my God.
Well, this is just another version of Cavernacle. I don't know what flavor, but it's a very low
He's
bar.
talking faster and less volume filled.
Well, he's got the look down, so that's about it.
I take that as an insult.
Trying to figure out their place in the world. I assure you, these rage bait channels and others who rant these poisonous thoughts and unleash them.
Poisonous thoughts. Here we go. It's always this poison that the right or the people I disagree with are what is it? What's the masculinity word they use?
The patriarchy.
Well, no. It's something masculinity. It's
We breathe it.
negative toxic. There you go. It's toxic masculinity. You're being a male, therefore you're poisoning people through your toxic masculinity.
Why haven't they made some sort of portmanteau out of it, like mascutoxicity?
Apparently that one worked.
Mascutoxy. Mascutoxy.
I never understood what that phrase meant. I mean, is it bad to be masculine? I don't.
Well, they take all male attributes and behaviors, including all the good ones, or especially all the good ones, it seems, because they only talk about ones that are neutral or good, and then they say that is toxic. That is the toxic masculinity, so that there's actually nothing left of. Because all the virtuous things, they also throw in there because, well, that's stereotypical. A man shouldn't care for a woman. Also, a man should protect women, but he shouldn't protect women because women are not damsels in distress. So it's all mixed in with double binds and gaslighting and all of this shit. It's something you cannot please. So it ends up as you are toxic because you are a man, because everything a man does is toxic masculinity. It's all a trick. That is real thought poison. Because it makes you incapable to think. It makes you incapable to act. It puts scissors in your head, which is what socialist psychological control is all about. So that you don't even get the idea of rising up against the tyranny they're trying to build. It's basically saying you are evil, and if you dare say anything, if you dare do anything, that just justifies that you're evil. It's like saying, when are you going to stop beating your wife, Smart? It's not a question you can answer because it has an allegation in it that you can disprove by saying yes or no or soon, or I never did that. It's just putting out an allegation. They define men as toxic. And they never talk about toxic femininity because, well, women are perfect, you know? That's why they are supposed to get away with murder, with abuse.
Trying to manipulate anyone who comes across them, do not have your best interest at heart. And it makes me sad when I see people repeat them, especially when they are much better and more level-headed voices you can listen to.
Yeah, like you.
Look in the fucking mirror.
Yeah, I'm the better ethical guy, and they are influencing you. They have their word. Let me demonize the people I disagree.
Please give us examples and have them be bread tubers.
I'm not going to tell you them, but they're manipulating you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Watching, and if there's someone you think should listen to what I say.
There we go. Are you like trying to find converts to your religion or something? Like, oh,
yes, this is fishing for new cultists, but it will only reach people who are already susceptible to it.
Do you hate people? I hate people too. If they're like me, I was okay, dude.
I'm good. I define myself as good. Are you a good person too? Because I'm doing good things and fighting for a good cause because I say so. If you're a good person, you want to join me. That's the whole. That's exactly the whole shtick of the left.
I cover the movies the right way. They don't do it the right way like I do. Like, okay.
You know, I'm starting to understand why this guy's been on YouTube for 13 years and he's only got 7,000 subscribers.
Well,
with this kind of attitude.
I don't know. This is weird.
share this with them. See you next time.
Oh, he's got a animated outro.
I mean, it's technically this is I think this is a wonderful instance of heart in the right place. He's part of the network.
I don't know what that means.
Holy shit, they have low standards. So this is a great example of possibly heart in the right place, but already indoctrinated and having his heartstrings pulled, and therefore pulling more people into the cult of the left.
All right. Well, let's see.
He
if we have
doesn't
any memes.
understand that he's actually on the side of bad people.
I have to scroll. I don't know why I have to scroll up all the time.
Discord breaks itself probably.
Yeah. Something's up with Discord. Okay, here we go. This is a real comic panel. Oh, don't be like that. It was romantic. Mutants can't get AIDS anyway. What? Why not? Is there something in the genetic code of mutants from the Marvel Universe that they can't get AIDS?
That makes no sense.
I don't remember that at all. Okay.
The line by itself makes absolutely no sense at all.
Even
without the second the first bubble.
I don't think
already
YouTube
makes no sense.
Channel Frederator is the same as Animation Studio Frederator Whisp. Oh, yeah, it's pretty different. But he's using the same logo. Like he's using the weird.
It said Frederator Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the top right, there's also the Frederator Network thingy. Join now.
I don't care what old white guys have to say about any movie or Wrinkle in Time. Mr. Coat, nothing wrong here. Cowboy Bebop uploads this panel. Don't worry, the X-Men have the legacy virus for that. Oh, the legacy virus. Yeah, plenty of viruses. Oh, there's Brie Larson's channel. She's got 667,000 subs. Her latest was a year ago? Oh, interesting.
Didn't get enough attention.
Maybe she stopped, yeah, who knows? Jeremy Renner having the time of his life. That was I mean, I don't know. He was just tired.
I think I only saw that one once.
I think he was just like, whatever. He's just doing an interview. Who doesn't care?
Yeah. He didn't want to be there. This was basically the attitude.
He
was looking like to his right, like away from her, as if, can I get off the stage?
I think he was just tired. I'll be the first me. Thank you very much. Smudcast trying to remember Dominic Cheadle's character, the invincible Iron. What? I don't know what that is.
Iron Boy.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about
War Machine. I think it was War Machine.
Don Cheadle.
Oh, was War Machine? I thought it was
War Machine. Yeah, War Machine.
I know they kept changing the actor from the Iron Man movie.
Well, there was a reason for that.
Yeah, I know, but it still confused me.
The kind of people who Disney need to stay afloat at this point. I have no thought, and I must consume.
Yeah,
I love that because I know where it's references from.
That's a good meme.
Snow White, evil queen who's jealous of her looks.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Is she?
Yeah.
Wow.
They do that.
I don't understand what people see in this.
Why movies are so expensive.
Promoted up failure of a girl.
And how to fix it. Drinker made a good video detailing why shit's so costly now. Oh, that's good to know. Oh my, what's all this? Do not make fun of... Oh yeah, we saw this before. This is from that Rachel chick. Yeah, these days, if you're any politically minded, it will come out in social media very clearly. Especially me, because I ramble on about Canadian politics all the time.
It's just, oh god, these just slogans. It's disgusting.
The visuals in Disney live action remakes are fine. Does this shit look good to you? Well, I'm not going to criticize individual frames of things I haven't seen, so I don't know. But when I'm talking about the remakes they did for live action, like Beauty and the Beast, I was impressed with the practical, the cosmetics, the wardrobe, and whatever CGI was in the background, it meshed very well together. I don't know every film, of course. No one's more annoying than Brie Larson. That's good. Brie has got some personality to her. I'll give her that. It's just, can you tolerate it? It's up to you. Chris Davis, lawyer and video game critic. Really? Liberal as fuck. He, him. I'm from the UK, but I now live in California. Saints FC fan.
Socialism is not liberal.
Well, in Canada, it kind of is.
No, it can't. Because one of the main socialist slogans is liberals get the bullet too. So they make a very clear distinction.
I don't give a...
Liberals are the useful idiots.
Actually, it's the people wherever they're from, not just California. So, bring back good movies, Disney. Make Disney great again. That's a nice Disney Channel great again. That's a good idea. I'd pay. Yeah, I'd pay to see that. Oh no! Don't do a meme of Mass Effect Andromeda. That's just sad. The only Andromeda character with a dam changed my mind. No, they're all bad.
This is all stupid.
They're all horrible. Even Drax, I don't like.
Why is he even there?
I don't know. Even Smudge, you left LD stream before the memes. Yeah, I had to go make lunch. They went on for like hours. I was like, I gotta go.
You can't keep Smut from his steak. Haven't you learned that yet?
I didn't have steak today, but I had a lot of good food. But it does take time. You can't just go to lunch. You have to cook and clean and prepare. Anyway. Ron Swanson, thank you. The whole point of this country is if you want to eat garbage, balloon up to 600 pounds and die of a heart attack. At 43, you can. You are free to do so. To me, that's beautiful. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, it's certainly a kind of freedom.
That sounds like something he might say, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great. This is from the... this is the meme probably from LitDev stream this morning. Delicious in Dungeon or Dungeon Meshi. It's pretty. The whole show is pretty much her reaction to all the gross stuff she has to eat, and then she goes, "Oh, this is so good," but initially she's just freaking out. We're gonna be friends, okay? Oh, it's the girl from the Elf. She loves like there's all these. Different kinds of fantasy characters, and her obsession is French fries, but she's always trying to work out and lose weight, but she just can't help it because she loves French fries so much. So you have Freyrin with those giant birthday burgers,
the mega burgers,
and then we have
dwarven burgers,
and then we have what's her name? Not Melanie, starts with an M, and she's like, "What is this food? Is this a bad eating mushroom?"
That is probably the safest picture I've seen from Pokemon ever.
My fellow Smud and the other guy, sorry I don't know your name, was talking about he did not make it to Master Chef Kitchen though. Weirdest yeah, that's the guy with the eyes. He had this craziest looking face, and he was talking about was it chipmunks or squirrels and roadkill?
Beavers.
It was just the weirdest.
Yeah.
It was
like,
so funny.
This was a psycho.
He looked crazy. I was like, oh my God, this guy looks like he's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
And cook them.
How do you think he got his roadkill?
Impressively, they liked his food. So I was like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. He's not stupid.
That's Hannibal Lecter also knew what he was doing when he cooked.
There are bad games, and I can understand why they're bad games. However, there's nothing wrong liking these games. Yeah. These are two games, for example, that I love, but my God, these are terrible games. Every movie has flaws. Even the ones I like understandably have flaws. There's nothing wrong with harsh criticism of something that you like. This is what I say all the time. When I'm harsh on something, I'm harsh on it because I like it. That's why I started this channel. The fans are not harsh. They're stupid. They just love it because it's the thing they like. Whereas stuff like BioWare produces or Black Isle or Eidos, like I'm harsh on, especially Canadian companies. I'm very harsh on because I know the people. So, Sonic and the Secret Rings for Wii. Sonic and the Black Knight. I've never heard of these games.
Yeah, I've never heard of them either.
Yeah, that's weird. I refuse. So what I'm saying is, please make a baby with me. Okay, I know this manga as well. Father, I'm
I think
back.
it's from right to left.
Oh yeah, you're right. You return at last. Look, isn't he adorable? Also, please let me introduce you to my husband. Yeah.
It's like the I married the demon king thingy.
Leave Leslie alone. He's entertaining. Oh,
No. He's
guy
a
from
horrible
Master Chef.
human being.
here's more Sonic. I think is that.
And
Zelda?
no, Plasma, Rotom. He did not make up with Iran. That was fucking creep shit. That was narcissistic abuse creep shit. She was pushed into that. That is the least thing you want to do. Can you accept it? We force you to accept the fake apology of the bully guy, or you look worse.
Look at
That's
that
what that was.
Look at that smirk on that guy, Master Chef.
Oh yeah,
Disgusting.
that douche.
Dried Pikmin. Interesting. You guys really like that anime. I think I remember reading the manga years ago. I just can't recall what it was about mostly. Because you all brought up a Crowder. All right. Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. Change my Okay.
Okay.
What do we got here?
Oh no.
Oh, wow. What is that? Oh, Jesus. In 2
I
weeks, it's
don't
going
like
to
where
be
this is going.
a sticker in Vosh's Discord. Bonus Vosh be shit post. This is kind of creepy. Someone had to bring up a Berserk meme, of course. It's just like, okay. What do we got? Oh, it's this. You see, this is a controversial guy because
a lot of people don't like him because he's not a chef.
Well,
he just owns restaurants.
yeah.
I mean, that's the main reason a lot of people don't like him. That I see in the comments section is because he doesn't cook. He's just a restaurant owner.
His mom is the famous one. She has her own show. Yes. She's a cook. She's a chef, and she's almost exactly like a few nunnas I've met over the years. So her cooking is pretty authentic. It's kind of strange because everyone's cooking in Italian cuisine is different, but hers is like, oh, that sounds, looks, and tastes probably like someone I might know.
At least he does bring the harshness to the show that it otherwise lacks when he's not there.
You know, but I think he's too much. And I know Italians take their food very seriously, but it's just like, dude.
I think he's compensating for the softness of the...
Something is up with that guy. He's angry for no reason. It's like, dude, you don't like it, fine, but don't get freaking...
He likes to be mean to people.
I don't know.
But what irks me about him is that he says espresso. It's so important to him to be all Italian, so important, and then he says espresso.
Everyone who's a chef of any caliber pretty much knows every cuisine, not every nuance, because they may not have cooked in it, but they know all the ingredients. They know what works and what doesn't. So when you get to like the 10th year, your 20th year of cooking, you know Italian, you know French, you know Portuguese, you know Japanese to some degree, you know some of Chinese, you know some of Jamaican, Cantonese. Like you just know these things because you've been around it for so long, and you go shopping, you buy the ingredients, they all cross-pollinate with each other. Yeah. So let's not talk about porn.
In that light, it is weird that when they made a positive change to, we're gonna mentor you now. They made it into more positive competition. But how is he supposed to mentor anyone if he's not a chef?
What the hell am I looking at? Is that...
That's Az
is naked?
Yeah, that's the intro from Friday Night Tights, I believe.
Oh my god. I've never seen this.
Good lord.
That's some crazy shit there.
Is that the Orville in the background?
Yep. That's the Orville design.
Okay. I thought so.
In the war against the AI people.
I don't care much for the pronouns and woke stuff in Starfield. It's really not that big a deal. It's like 1% of the game. I guess you're right. I'll just remove that part so I can ignore it easier. What the?
Yeah. That's in reference to Nexus mods, who banned mods
Oh.
that were removing the bullshit
That logo
or
looked very
fixing
familiar.
the women.
What is
Fixing
that
women is only allowed by making them ugly, which is the most misogynistic thing you could imagine.
Joe Bastianich totally mellows out when he returns in season 9.
No, he still does the mean looks thing for no reason.
Bob Chipman, I wasn't sure whether or not to believe you before, but using cuck in a sentence made it definite that I'd take you very, very seriously. What? Okay, whatever.
Can you stay on point with the memes and have them be memes? That would be really cool.
Okay, here we got Goblin Cave. This is the law of equivalent exchange. What? What the hell? Okay. Oh, I can't read that. It's too small. Sorry. If you look like this, you're Lexapro, Vivaness, and Trazodone are ready for pickup from CVS? What is up with these girls? I don't know what's...
I don't know either.
They're all probably on something.
Alex Kurtzman, majority of fan base, New Trek. Yeah, that's a perfect. I love it.
Yeet.
Oh, even my dad was like, he got to like third season of Discovery. He's like, this is too much. I can't take this. Oh, that's funny. Oh no, let's not bring her up. Would you like to finish it, Captain? I don't know how. That is not true, sir. What the hell is... What? A horse?
Yeah. Autumn, that is not anything special. This woman is crazy. She has a kill count. Of course, she's into this stupid pretense virtue signaling game. She has borderline personality disorder, 100%. The proton thing is the least of the problems with that mad piece of someone who should be locked up in a padded cell for life.
I actually kind of like this one because Picard should be speaking French because he's a Frenchman, even though he's played by an Englishman. Data's, I don't know what that's about. But Riker's beard is the best thing. Okay. Raw eggs and beef at the bottom. Basic needs. Fair enough. Artho. What?
Artho.
Artho? It says Artho.
It's English. It has no pronunciation.
Okay. And war. Self-fulfillment needs? What?
I don't know.
Who made that hierarchy?
I don't know.
Mary Sue power levels visualized. The OG namesake Mary Sue is less than Michael Burnham. I don't know. I'd have to actually look at what Michael Burnham can do. But every time I read about
Michael
it,
Burnham does more than the original Mary Sue. The original Mary Sue just did better at problem solving than Spock and Bones, and was loved by everyone.
and Burnham
Michael Burnham does galaxy-changing shit.
Yeah, she becomes the Red Angel, whatever that means, and it's just this bizarre, self-fulfilling, like, who is it? What's going to happen? And it's like, it's me. Like, what?
And we pretend she never existed.
Oh, I never watched.
None of this ever happened.
To a degree.
And there you see the shit for hair haircut, by the way.
You claim that Bajor has improved since the occupation, but where are the statues of me on Bajor? Curious.
Yeah.
When I'm in command, every mission is a suicide mission. Oh my god. What the hell?
That's the Lex Brannigan.
Modern day leftists being racist be like, what's D?
I have to. I'm sorry. I have to elucidate. Is that the right word about this? It's actually the other way around. Hitler wrote this in his book. He copied the socialist tactics.
At least
That's why the socialists are so pissed at the Nazis, because they copied from their book, not the other way around. That's the whole joke. It was always red socialist tactics. It's brilliant.
All right.
Maybe that's why they don't want you to read his book.
Never ask a white supremacist the race of his girlfriend. What? What the hell?
Common. That's a common thing. I'm serious. It's hilarious.
All right. We Germans aren't all smiles and sunshine. Sunshine.
Und sunshine.
The Germans are mad at me. I'm so scared.
Well,
I'm just. Is just Ken? He's just Ken. What?
it's a Warhammer joke.
I know. Any marriage where the female is allowed to speak and wear clothing is doomed from the start.
Yeah. Look, when the Ferengi women took over, the whole society crumbled.
The world
and
was
and DS9 is trying to sell that to us as being an improvement.
So the world was going down the tubes. They needed a scapegoat. They found Wayne. Okay. Not sure what that means. Just some guy. Oh, no. Just some guy. Just because you're not bothered by the agenda doesn't mean the agenda isn't there.
Rotom, you're a day early. That's spoilers.
Is this another one of his hot takes that is...
No, it's just... I'm confused because just some guys tomorrow.
Oh, jeez. Canada in the world's history books. No, Canada is... The weird thing about Canada, we look at all the foreign wars we were involved in. We were fucking crazy. We murdered people left, right, and center. We just... When it came to Germany, like, we didn't give a shit. Like, oh, there's Germans, we killed them. I was like, wait, why? Wait, stop. They're singing Christmas carols. It's peace. It's like, nope, we're going to kill them. Even though Canada did the exact same thing like a year or two prior.
Is that a war crime?
I don't know. You're talking about war.
Was it a very polite war crime?
No, we just kill people. Like, we're just horrible at following rules.
So that's your actual politeness.
Oh, when it comes to war, yeah, we are freaking lethal. But when it comes to like bombs and shit, we have nothing. So give us a gun, we're pretty good. Canada in the Netherlands history books? Oh wow. Okay, that's amazing. Canada in Canada's history books. Oh, you don't want to know the horrible wars that Canada, or not the wars, but the battles.
You
of
killed
wars.
thousands of huskies.
Well, we killed
to destroy the indigenous culture.
Tens of thousands of our own people being bombed by the Germans. So it was kind of like, it was fair.
Cute, cuddly dogs. Thousands of them.
We killed seals. We killed whales. We killed all kinds of crazy things. Mooses.
Cute dogs.
They're going to kill you. We got to kill them first.
No.
Germany in German history books. German in every other history. Okay.
See, that's the difference between us and everyone else. We are honest. Since we kicked the Romans' ass.
Man who argues with the media, universities, corporations, and Hollywood thinks he's part of the resistance. Don't forget government. I don't know. That was a weird... People, if you look at that video, I said at the beginning, it's more like, 290 upvotes, like a few downvotes. People like his stuff. So...
Oh no, the education system is failing to teach about the Holocaust. Oh no, why are misconceptions about the Holocaust rising among young people? Maybe it's your fault. Your side. They're in control.
Alila Brown just confirmed she's playing Maria in Sonic 3. And she's wearing... What the hell is she wearing? Is that a backwards... Oh, she put her coat on backwards.
She's got her coat on backwards.
Okay.
Maybe because she's in
Sonic
costume
enough
or
to
something?
get the joke.
She's hiding herself for some reason,
Yeah, maybe she's in costume in the movie and she's like wearing the coat to hide herself.
Maybe makeup, who knows.
Which is weird.
Smudcast, I figure out what this man wants us to look like when we watch bad movies. Just like it no matter what. I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to say, honestly. It was a mishmash of tangents. Niners, death to the opposition?
That's Wolf.
Yeah. That one stupid... People love that episode. I hated that episode.
I forgot all about it.
One where they play against the Vulcans are crushing them, and then they get one home run or whatever it was, and everyone's like happy. Being retarded is exhausting.
Hey, we lost, but we had a home run. Hey,
Yeah.
we're awesome. Hey.
Secret tunnel. Okay.
Oh, because they found that secret tunnel recently in the Jewish synagogue in New York.
No, really.
With very strange things inside.
Mr. Putin, why did you invade Ukraine? 4 billion years ago, the Earth was in its cooling phase. If you guys watched that last week, the first 30 minutes, Putin just kept going on about the history of Ukraine, and Tucker was like, okay, we're doing this? We're just listening to this old man talk about Europe?
Look, this is the whole thing is, about current conflicts, there's always one side that wants to dismiss all the historical baggage. And we have the same issue with the Israel-Palestine thing. We are not allowed to look at the historical baggage so that we all support the Islamists who want to genocide the Jews. Because somehow the Jews are oppressing the Palestinians because they legitimately bought land, then were allowed by the sovereign to found the nation there. And they only threw out the Islamists after they started murdering the Jews. And now the Jews are bad because they threw out the Islamists who tried to kill them. And now we have a similar thing going on all across.
So if you
A
actually
lot of Islamists everywhere that are killing and murdering and raping.
So if you actually watch the interview, before the interview starts, Tucker says that Putin's going to do this for 30 minutes, and then at the start of the interview, Putin goes, "Well, give me 30 seconds. I'll talk about the history," and he just kept going. And I think this is where you realize, okay, is Tucker just going to let him say whatever he wants, which is a tactic?
Why not? He has the time.
Which, yeah, it's a fair tactic to just let your interviewer just say, like, open themselves up. But at a certain point, you're like, okay, wait, this is cool and all, but we gotta focus on what I asked you, not the history.
He asked it a few times, and he got further and further for history, and you could basically make out, okay, it's probably gonna go on for like 2-3 more centuries.
Yeah, it was kind of silly. I would have stopped it right there. Sir, I really appreciate this. I can get this from a history textbook. Can you please answer the question?
No, but smart. That's also the thing. Nobody's looking at the history textbook. That's why Putin spelled it all out.
Well, if he focused on the 90s...
The thing about that is that people then take what he said and check, some at least, then check the history textbook to see, is that actually correct what he said, to find the errors in it.
He actually got some stuff wrong, but that's not the point. The point
exactly.
The point was, if he focused
that's what the parts you then later want to report about.
Yeah, if he focused on the 90s and the 2000s and like that's relevant, like why did this happen and what's going on, that would have been very helpful. Let's just skip the modern times and just focus on that. We don't need the history. Anyway, I don't feel safe in my own neighborhood. You literally voted for this.
Is correct, yes.
I don't think there's a referendum that people voted on, but they voted for the people to do those things.
They voted for the parties who enact all of this, and they never changed their vote. They may complain about it, then they flee the places that were ruined, and in a new place they moved into, they then vote for the same shit.
All right, so this was, if you just go down the whole list, like it's all positive comments on his video. So I was going to make a list of things to say, but it's just like, who cares? He's not going to listen to that, so it doesn't make a difference. Died in 1980, born in 1980. Welcome back, Rhodesia?
I don't get the joke.
I don't know.
I don't get it either.
Behind trying something that's failed. That's people attribute that quote to Einstein, but it's not Einstein.
This is a different context.
It's an Adolf Hitler costume. Sieg Heil.
Oh God! If you want to try to play dumb or if you want to try to play witty, at least don't be a dumb about it. Because there's a difference between trying again when you fail at improving at something and trying again the exact same way each and every time.
I can barely read that. It was posted in the meme channel, but it's apparently, I say a comment that I'm trying to be nice to Maggie because I want to sort of try and be positive. And I say she has good masculine features, and people are like, "What the hell, Smud?" She does. She has some nice features. You gotta take what you can get, guys. Oh, here we go.
Have some standards, man.
Well, for men, as the Americans learned so painfully in Earth's final century, the free flow of information is the only safeguard against tyranny. Beware of he who would deny you access to information, for in his heart he dreams himself your master. This is from Alpha Centauri, one of my favorite games of all time, and everyone speaks with their own accent and nuance and cadence. It's beautiful, and you just go on to YouTube, you'll find all the quotes there. They're just play the game. It's really good. If you like Forex games. Oh man, that's deep. Okay. Honestly, the game's fantastic, but yeah. Watch the video. Eric, Adolf Hitler was a very naughty man.
And Eric loves it. Because he wants to be as powerful.
Because Whisp said women never get arrested. These ones thankfully did. Lesbian couple who beat their 5-year-old son with a hammer, duct taped his eyes shut, and kicked him in the groin in a brutal attack that caused him to suffer 2 strokes are jailed for 20 years.
Not enough.
That is... I've never heard of that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's a surprise they did get locked up.
If it was in Florida, they probably.
But it's rare these things actually happen. A lot of these get away with.
Oh yeah, guys, we just saw this. Please stop. The reality is terrifying enough. I don't need to be traumatized. Anyway,
we know Wolf wants to be a rape demon.
I don't want to know anymore. I'm sort of tired of knowing he exists and people listen to him for whatever reason.
Well, this is the thing that seems to be breaking his neck for once.
Yeah, he's a pervert.
I don't know how for all these years it escaped people when it was always obvious and no, he admitted to most of this shit. Now suddenly, because he accidentally opened his porn folder, how it suddenly is relevant. I mean, cool, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you that it finally is. But where have you been for 5 years?
I don't. I'm just glad that I know enough that I just don't want to listen, and I'll happily read a book and relax. It makes me happier that way, knowing that I don't have to listen to that crap anymore, because I covered that years ago with LitDev, and that was enough. I knew enough that this guy was so I've never heard of a guy go on that long of hot air that for hours, and he does it every day.
Hey, I'm gonna hop off. You guys have a good night.
Yep. Thanks, bad boy.
Yeah, good night.
We're done. Thank you guys as well. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Take it easy.